She divorced her husband after 3 months, but not because she stopped loving him, but because she was afraid for her safety. Now she's scared that she might go back. Imagine marrying someone and realizing just 3 months later that the person you trusted with your life is the same person willing to take it. Situations like these are complicated. It's not always just anger or hate. Sometimes it's fear, trauma, and emotional attachment mixed together. Today we will be reacting to a story about DV and how everything unfolds. Because leaving is one battle, but staying gone can be an even harder one. So look, hurry up, grab your snacks, kick back, relax, as we get into this story time about a woman divorcing her husband after 3 months. If you don't already know, I'm Day, and this is King's Corner. What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Run it up was up. Your bitch gon' not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. What it do? It's your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, what up y'all? We are back with another reaction video. So this reaction is about a woman leaving her husband after 3 months. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what went down. Look, I ain't gonna hold you no longer. I never do. If you mess with me like I mess with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
I am 27 years old and about to get divorced from my husband after only being married for 3 months. I posted this story time yesterday, but I deleted it because I got scared. I'm not going to give that too much because I know this story. This is only part 1 and it's going to take the whole 10 minutes. So I'm just about to get right into it. So my husband and I got married within a year of dating. I know. People going to say that was too fast or yada, yada, yada. But in my head, I didn't think that was too fast because that was my man. That was my man. I loved him. He always treated me right. He was kind, protective. He was a problem solver. He was strong and handsome. He was in a gym. He prayed with me. Like, he just took care of me, really. So I didn't think there was anything to it. There was some things that he was missing when it comes to what I desired in a man and a husband. But I had never had a man that was treating me in this way. And he just came at a time where I was like, oh, that's gotta be God. And it wasn't.
What y'all think about getting married after a year? Do you guys think there is a time limit on it? I mean, I've seen a lot of success stories. I don't know if they faking the funk. You know, I don't know if things are crazy in the household. But I've seen where people have gotten married after a year. I've seen people gotten married after 6 months. And no, they did not have a past history. They met each other, kicked things off, and got married. Also heard when it comes to men, they know if they want you to be their wife within a couple of months. So I hear, this is just word around the block. Okay, I ain't trying to offend nobody, but if you with a man and y'all been together 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and y'all are not married, they say, now, this is what they say, that man ain't gonna marry you. Now, if y'all had that conversation, y'all sorted that thing out, you don't want to be married, he don't want to be married, y'all living y'all best life, cool. I'm actually happy for you. Y'all on the same accord. That's all that matters. When you're in a relationship, if y'all on the same accord, don't nothing else matter. But for those of you who are out there that desire marriage, they say, I'm not saying this is what they say now. They say y'all been together 3+ years. They say about 3+ years. And you're not married, that man ain't gonna marry you. Especially you giving them kids and, you know, they just say that man ain't gonna marry you. That's what they say. I don't know. Y'all let me know if that's true or not. I know sometimes there are special cases. Things prevent things from happening, you know. But if y'all two able-bodied, well-being people, okay, y'all go to work every day, y'all come home every day, you know, whatever. It don't cost but a couple bucks to go down to the courthouse and for that man to marry you. Now, the wedding can be postponed. You might have to save some coinage for that. If you a woman with expensive taste and your man ain't got it like that, but that's your man and you love him, you probably gonna give him some time to get his coins together so he can give you the wedding of your dream. But the marriage part, just to be his wife, that's a couple bucks. That's it. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Oh, one more thing. She also said he didn't even check off everything on the list for what she desired for her husband to be. However, he was doing other things that she was not used to. So she lowered those standards. What y'all think about that? Have y'all fell victim to that before? Like, you was like, next time I get with somebody, I'm going to make sure they have X, Y, and Z. And then you meet somebody and they sweep you off your feet, but they ain't got X, Y, or Z. So you ignore what you desire most. You push it to the side. You say, you know what? It ain't even that deep. And because he's showing you something that you've never experienced before, you lower your standard. Let me know how that worked out for you. Let me know, because there may be some success stories out there. We don't know. Let's get back to it.
So, it's important to note that my husband is an alcoholic. Well, my soon-to-be ex-husband is an alcoholic. And he always claimed that he actually wasn't an alcoholic, which is red flag number one. But he's an alcoholic. So there would be times where he would occasionally slip up when it comes to drinking while we were still dating. But it wouldn't be anything major. It'd be like a couple Four Locos or something. But he wouldn't be like drunk.
Four Locos?
Well, actually, there was
a couple Four Locos? Oh, yeah. Most definitely a red flag. Most definitely. Four Locos? Child, if it... Now, let me say this. You out, you want to have a time, you want to feel out of your body, and you grab you a Four Loko and you mix it with something else, or you just take it straight to the head, whatever the case may be, cool. But if that is your go-to, like, and I'm talking about like once a year type thing, you go pop a Four Loko like once a year, it's like, okay, whatever, drinking a Four Loko, you trying to have you a time and you trying to be lit. But that's your go-to drink? Like, no, that's like some wino stuff, bro. We can't do the Four Loko. Not every day, not all day. No. You fighting another kind of demon, taking a Four Loko to the head.
That's where he got drunk, but I never thought too much of it because it was like once every blue moon. So I was like, okay. Do some things.
Once every blue
Mental
moon.
health and black men, he just needs somebody to be there for him. I'm not going to be that woman that turns my back on him when he needs somebody, yada, yada, yada. So fast forward, and it's about time for us to get married. Well, it's not time for... We didn't plan our marriage. We eloped. It was like a decision like that. We had already been talking about getting married, but we didn't plan to do it when we did it. So about a week prior to us getting married, things were getting rough in our relationship, and it was stressing me out. There was just a lot of things going on. He was drinking more, and he was just not okay mentally. And I was calling off work to take care of him and all the other stuff. So one day we was on the way home, and he looked at me and said, let's get married. And I'm like, what? Like, are you sure? Because, like, are you sure you're not saying that out of emotions right now? Because, you were already drinking a little bit. Are you sure that you actually want to do this? And I should have been the one to be like, no, we're not going to do that. But I wanted to get married so bad that I overlooked all the red flags that was staring at me blatantly in the face. It was just, I was blind. Like, I didn't see it. I had on rose-colored lenses. So anyways, that same day we said, let's get married, we went and got married. Bought the rings and everything the same day and went to the courthouse and got married. And I was so happy after we got married. Like, it was great. He was sober, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is it. I found my person. I'm married now. Like, we're going to be together for the rest of our lives. This is going to be so great. God is going to bless us because we did the right thing, yada, yada, yada. So literally right after we got married, he decided he wanted to go get a drink to celebrate. And I'm like, that's an odd way to celebrate it when you're supposed to be sober. Like, we're supposed to just be enjoying this together, sober. But, I digress. So he went and got like some wine, I think. And from that point on, that man was literally drinking every day. Things went downhill so quickly after we got married. There was literally not one day where we were able to celebrate or just be happy as newlyweds. There was not one day at all. He might have been happy because he was just living it up. But I was miserable because he quit his job right after that. So he didn't have a job. We just had my car, and it's all rink-a-dink. And he stopped doing anything. He wasn't helping me around the house. He wasn't helping me with anything at all. I was doing all the cooking and cleaning, and I was taking care of him like he was a newborn. Like, whatever you have to do with a newborn, I was doing that for him. I'm not gonna go into details, but I was doing that. I was a caretaker.
Seriously?
I was a caretaker because he was too drunk to take care of himself.
Like diapers? Like you put him on diapers? You had to wipe his poop? You had to change him when he pee-peed on himself? Or was he just doing it on the bed or doing it on the couch and then you would like wipe that up? Or I mean, like, come on, we need a little bit more detail. When you say a newborn, like you had to put him in the tub and bathe him? You had to give him a bath? I just want to know. Serious question here. Because she said newborn and she was like looking like, no, for real, for real. It's crazy.
This was really taking a toll on our relationship, on me.
I know it is.
Extremely stressed out. I grew resentful towards him because this is not what I signed up for. This is not the man that I agreed to marry. This is not the man that I originally met. This is not the man I fell in love with. I felt like I got duped. I felt like he had on a mask the entire time, or at least pretended for as long as he could. And as soon as we got married, he just stopped caring. He just gave up. Because he knew how I felt about divorce. He knew that I didn't, like, I would do everything in my power not to get a divorce. And I believe he took advantage of that. So, he was on one of his binge days where he was just drinking, like to the point where seeing him sober made me happy because he actually did something, because he was never sober. He woke up before he ate breakfast. He was at the gas station buying a drink. So one day this is the downfall towards things, because I was willing to work with him through all this other stuff. I said, oh, we can go get you in rehab. I'm going to stand beside you. I'm going to help you. You just need help. You just need prayer, all of this stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stand beside him. I'm going to stick beside him. It's hard, but hey. So anyways, this what I'm about to say next is when things started to really go downhill. So he was drunk and he was outside talking on the phone, and my spider senses was tingling. So I'm at the window, like, because he was standing next to the window. I'm listening to his conversation. He's on the phone with his ex-girlfriend. He's on the phone with his ex-girlfriend confessing that he wants to be with her. You know, whatever it takes, we can forget about the past. I want to be with you. I want to be with you. I'll leave right now. You just got to tell me that you want this. Mind you, we're married. So I walk outside like, nigga.
Who are you talking to?
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking? Who are you talking to, first of all? And I found out it was his ex, and that really pissed me off. Like, I started crying. And I was like, why would you do this to me? Why would you wait till after we get married to do all this? You could have just left me alone. You could have left me where I was. We could have stayed away from the girlfriend. You didn't have to marry me. Now we have to, like, in order to separate, we have to get divorced. There's no breaking up and just walking away. We have to get divorced. So I was pissed, and he saw me crying, and he started to tear up. Like, it seemed like it bothered him that he hurt me, but not enough to stop, because he went into the house. Like, literally after that conversation, went into the house, called her again in the bedroom while I'm standing right there. Now, after this, he claimed to not remember doing it. He was like, oh, I was drunk. You know, I don't remember doing that stuff. You know, I only want you. I don't want her. I don't know why I did that, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not happy about this at all. But I'm like, you know what? Like, it's just words. Nothing really happened. So, you know, I really pissed about it. So I don't really forgive you. But what can I do right now? So we just continue. And I'm still resentful for him, towards him. Not really talking to him and just, you know. So after this, he ends up calling somebody to be like, oh, hey, like, you know, I just need a break. I need to get out of here, whatever. So he ends up going to another city with somebody. I'm not going to say, like, who it was, but he ends up going to another city. It was a guy. Somebody, you know, part of the family, whatever. He ends up going to another city with them. I don't think nothing of it, but he's there and he's like not really answering my phone calls at all. Like, he's not answering my phone calls. I got his location, so I see where he's at, but I'm not familiar with that city, so me seeing where he's at does not mean anything at all. So I'm blowing his phone up, texting him, whatever. He's not answering. So I eventually do get a hold of him. He comes home or whatever, and I found out that the ex that he called lives in that very city that he went to visit.
So he went to go see her.
Now, I don't know if he actually did anything. I have my suspicions, but I have no proof. He swears up and down that he ain't do nothing, but I don't know. Okay, my time is almost up, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. But when he got back home, I was like, okay, I'm upset that he went there in the same city as his ex and didn't tell me and then didn't answer the phone. He always swore up and down that he would never cheat on me. So like I'm not sure what to believe at this point. I'm angry, but at the same time I'm like I'm relieved that he's here and that he's okay. So maybe everything will be fine now. Maybe he can be sober. Maybe that's what he needed in order to like reset, you know? Maybe this is exactly what he needed, but no. That was not the case. Okay, y'all, I ran out of time, so I'm about to make part 2. And yeah, I'll see y'all there.
All right, part 2.
Okay, here's part 2 of what I just posted. So, he just got home from going to another city that he's in. And I'm thinking, okay, everything's gonna be cool, everything's gonna be dandy, he's able to reset now, and we're gonna be great. No, that's not what happened at all. Things just continued to go downhill. He didn't get any better. He just got worse. Oh, and he just continued to like try to call his ex, and he kept saying like, "Oh, she reached out to me." I'm not stupid. You was calling her, so like that pissed me off. That our relationship was like really on thin ice. Then I was praying to God, like writing in my journals, like Lord, literally one page of my journal literally just said, "God, please." That's literally it. I'm praying like, Lord, why is this happening? I thought this was my husband. Like, why is he hurting me like this? It's not what I signed up for. I don't want this. I'm not happy. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm praying down. It was literally just me and God. Me and God. That's the only way I kept myself sane. So, anyways, fast forward. He ended up blocking her. Fast forward. This is Christmas Eve. And he has still been drinking pretty consistently at this point. He keeps saying he's going to stop because I'm doing everything I can to get him in rehab, but he refuses to go. Mm-hmm. And if y'all know anything about rehab, the person has to pretty much be willing to go, and he was not willing. So, it was Christmas Eve, and he had been drinking a lot. So, and we had family over. My family was over for a game night, and then halfway through game night, we were supposed to go to see his family. And so, I didn't know that he bought liquor, like a whole bottle of vodka that's about this big, this tall, and like a little bit wider than that. But a whole bottle of vodka. And he had been drinking on it. When I found out that he had that, I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, we're supposed to be going out with family. You should not be drinking right now. Like, what are you doing? He said, oh, it's cool. I got it. I can handle it. And I saw him pour one drink. But by the time a couple hours go from the time that he bought the bottles, it's time to go. It's only been like 2-3 hours. By the time it's that time, he keep his liquor in the closet. I open the closet. That bottle is almost completely gone. There was only like 2 to 3 shots left. I'm like, we're supposed to be going out, and you say you got it, but you didn't drink almost a whole bottle of freaking vodka at one time. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't vodka, it was tequila. So you drank about a whole bottle of tequila within a couple hours, and you think that we're about to go be around your family, they're not going to notice? Like, come on now. So I'm pissed. Like, for me, that was the straw that brought the camel back. I was already thinking in my head, like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I am so tired of this. I'm tired. I don't have nothing else to give. Even the little bit that I had left to give, I don't want to give it no more. Like, clearly this man is not trying. He doesn't want this as badly as I do. So what is the point? So he's messed up at this point. So, but I'm trying to keep it together because people who don't know him could be like, oh, like he just, maybe he just, got a lot of energy or, something like that. People who don't know him like that wouldn't think that he was drunk until he started stumbling and stuff and slurring his words. But the person we were riding with, they knew him. The moment he opened his mouth to speak, they was like, They looked at me, I'm like, So that person turns around and say, oh, no, y'all going back to the house. I ain't even mad at him because I would have did the same thing. Okay, like I get that. All right. So, but he's in the car mad, cussing, yelling. And I'm like, you're not finna disrespect this person like that. Like, stop talking to them like that. And he was mad at me because I wasn't defending him. But he lying to this person straight to their face. Lying. I'm not a liar. I don't like to lie. It eats me up inside. I'm not good at it. So I just don't say anything. I'm just like, I'm pissed. So I'm just staring out the window, shaking my leg like, I can't wait to get back to the house so I can chew this nigga out. I'm like, I'm mad. So we get back to the house, and he slammed the door, to the car, storms inside. You know, I thank the person for the ride, apologize for everything, and I go inside. And this man already at the closet opening up the bottle of tequila. Like, he ain't
Ready.
already drunk enough. Like, he ain't learned his lesson. Already in there drinking, making noise while my family's in the house. My whole family's in the house. So they hear everything. The house not that big. So I'm like, you know, go outside with that. I don't want my family to hear. My son is here. You need to go outside with that. So he did not want to go outside, but I took the bottle from him and like coaxed him outside like a cat with some catnip. I was like, just come on, come on, come on. You want it? Come on. So he eventually came outside, and I was telling him, like, you know, I'm tired of this. I don't want to be with you. I'm pissed. You're lying. Like, he was trying to flip it on me. Like, this is your fault. You need to take accountability for your actions. You know you're not supposed to be drinking, but yet here you are. So I was like, you know, I'm done. I don't care about no apologies. I don't want to try again. I am done. I'm done. So we're arguing. He's yelling. He's cussing. I'm yelling. I'm cussing. I don't curse. So you know you got to get me out of character for me to say some bad words, because I just don't curse. It's not in me. It's not who I am. So I'm like pissed, and we're going at it. And you know, I take his bottle, because he won't get off my porch. I asked him to leave 1,000 times. He wouldn't leave. So I took his bottle of tequila and went out in the street, because I know he gonna follow it. So, and he did. So I had his bottle. I was like, you know, come on, like, I want you to go. I don't want you here no more. And I started shoving him, not like pushing him with all my might, but just like a little shove, like, how could you do this to me? Why are you doing this? Like, you know, you promised me that you wouldn't, you know, stuff like that. So we're going at it, and he's saying this, and all he want, like, give me my bottle, Diana, give me my bottle. And then I was like, he threatened me. He said, like, he was like, I'm gonna punch you, like, I'm gonna punch you in your face. And I was like, I got in his face, like, do it. I double dare you to do it. Do it. Like, if you say you're gonna put your hands on me, do it.
He did it.
Be a man of your word for once. Do it. But he didn't do it. He was just looking at me like he was pissed. And all he kept asking for his bottle. So I shoved it to him. I was like, you know, had the bottle. I said, here, take it and go. Get the stepping. Like, it's illegal to walk down the street with an open bottle of liquor. But hey, not my problem anymore. Just go. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be with you. So I'm walking back on the porch, and he's following me. I had already locked the front door by this time, by the way. I had already locked the front door because I knew he was going to try to get back inside. So he's following me. He get back on the porch, and I keep telling him to leave. I was like, leave. I don't want you here. Leave. He refused to leave. Instead, he pushes me. He's pushing me at this point, and I got on heels, so I'm tumbling back. And the neighbors see everything. They're like, hey, man, chill. Y'all got to chill. Like, it's Christmas Eve. Don't do that. Whatever, man. Just leave her alone. Just go. No, he wouldn't listen. So he tried to go back in the house, but the door locked. So he banging on the door, ringing the doorbell. While my family is there, my son comes to the door to try to open the door. And I'm like, don't open the door. Don't open the door. Like, do not open the door. So my son sees me. He doesn't open the door. And by this time, my family is walking up to the door. My soon-to-be ex-husband looks me in my face with eyes so dark I don't recognize him. It was literally like he was possessed. Like, something overtook him. Like, it scared me. He looked at me. He grabbed both hands and put them around my neck and was strangling me. I'm hanging over the railing on the porch with my feet dangling. And time is moving by slow at this point. I don't have any idea how long he strangled me. It could have been 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 3 minutes. I wouldn't have known the difference, because I was like out of body, and things literally moved in slow motion. All I remember is staring at him with his hands around my neck, thinking, like, this man that I love is strangling me. He has his hands wrapped around my neck, holding me over the railing of my front porch. Like, there's bushes right there. I'm in the bushes. And he's strangling me. The man that I love is doing this to me. That's all I could think about. Then a family member of mine came out. He got him off of me. I called the police immediately as his hands off my neck. I called the police immediately. Like, come get this man. He claims he don't remember doing that. When he got to jail, he was calling me and saying, like, I'm so sorry. You know, I would have never done anything like that to you. I'm sorry. Like, can you please come get me? Yada, yada, yada. Like, you know, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I keep looking at my hands like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that to her. And I wasn't falling for it. At that time,
Good.
I wasn't falling for it.
You
I refused
shouldn't.
to bail him out. And I had PTSD.
Okay.
Time's almost up. I had to call the ambulance because my throat, like, I couldn't talk. My throat was so hoarse, and it hurt to talk. It hurt to swallow. And I just had PTSD. I still do for a while. Anyways, next story in part two.
All right, part 3.
Part three of why I'm divorcing my husband after 3 months of being married. So, this is after New Year's. Bailed out, not by me, and he's staying with the family member now. So, we're supposed to be no contact. But he does end up contacting me. Eventually, I do come back around. I do not let him come back to live with me. We're still living separately, and we're still technically married, but separated. Like, we're like, okay, we're not together right now. We're gonna like work towards that, but there are some things that
Work
we both need
towards
to
it?
work on before
Oh,
we get back together.
no, sister. Work towards it? No, no.
Have some healing to do, and you have some healing to do. Like, you need to get sober. So the deal was for him to go to AA meetings, take anger management classes, to do individual counseling, and then when the time was right, we was going to do couples counseling. So that was the deal. We had been talking mostly during that time, but the more time went, the less we talked. And he spent more and more time not talking to me. And it started to feel like I was the one that was trying to make up for something. And I felt guilty. A part of me felt guilty for him going to jail because he had never been violent towards me before that. And I mean, never.
And he went straight to strangulation? He never hit you on top of your head, bopped you, pushed you, shoved you. He just went straight to hands around your neck. That is a dangerous man. That is a dangerous man.
Never done anything like that to me. So, I was like, okay, maybe he really doesn't remember. Maybe that's really not in his character. Maybe all those statistics about, domestic violence and spouses who strangle their partner, maybe I'm the exception to the rule. Like, I was still fearful, still had PTSD. I was still on the lookout, still very anxious to be around him. But, I was willing to give it another chance because we're married. So I was like, okay, he has never done anything like that. So because it was an isolated event, I'm willing to do the work to overcome it. So time goes by and he's supposed to be sober, but I do recognize that he does occasionally drink, and now he has a weed pen. And I feel in my gut that we're not going to make it. I feel like, this is not something I can deal with. Even though I would hope that there was an isolated incident, I can't say that I will ever feel safe around you. Like, I don't know if that's something that I can ever get past, because I recognize now that when I did see him, I was always jumpy. I was always on edge. So fast forward, that's how things are going. So it's now my birthday. My birthday was February 7th. So it's my birthday now. He has a job where he's working like overnight and sleeps during the day. Since he started that job, we haven't been talking at all, really. Like, we would go like 2 days without talking. Not by any lack of my effort. I would call, I would text, no reply. And he was just always like, oh, my bad, I was asleep. Sorry, I'm just not seeing it, yada, yada, yada. And I would be like, I feel like if you don't want to do this, just let me know. Like, if this is not something that you're willing to do, I feel like you don't like me anymore. And I was very anxious. Like, I had anxious attachment because I'm like, I feel like I'm being abandoned. Like, childhood trauma just was being triggered. So, I don't think too much of it. I know he got some mental things going on and he's working. Maybe he's just extra tired and he's sleeping a lot. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's just depressed. So my birthday comes and I'm like, oh, I want to see you for my birthday. I'm out with my girls. So it's not like I spent the whole day with them. I just wanted to stop by and say hello. So I was like, I just want to see you for my birthday. Can I come over? And when he called me, something about him was like, have you been drinking? And he said no. And I was like, Okay. And right then I had made up in my mind that if I get there and he's intoxicated, I'm going to leave and I'm going to be done because it's my birthday. You could have just held it together for my birthday. Like the bar was in hell. It's not there no more, but the bar was in hell. Like you could have just held it together for my day. And all I asked of him, because I knew he didn't have enough, I knew he didn't have a lot of money because he was Ubering back and forth to work. So I know he didn't have a lot of money. That's not an excuse because I still feel like he could have got some flowers or something. He could have did something. And I did the most on his birthday. But I feel like he could have did something. So when I got to his place and I saw him, I automatically knew that he wasn't sober. Now, I can't say if it was like drunk sober. I mean drunk intoxicated or whatever, because when I tell y'all it had been like 3 to 4 weeks since I saw him. And he looked completely different. His muscle tone was pretty much gone. His hair was just everywhere. Facial hair just everywhere. And his eyes were just like empty. They were empty. Not dark as in like, oh, he doesn't have a soul, but just like you looked in his eyes and was like, there's not a thought in the world behind those eyes. And at the same time, it just seemed like he was fighting internal battles. Like who he actually was lost somewhere inside of him. That's what it looked like when I saw him. And that scared me. Not scared me is like, oh, I'm scared for my life, but scared me is like, I am concerned. Like, if you keep going down this path, you're going to end up unalive. I'm concerned at this point. So when I see him, I'm like, what do you have going on? Like, are you intoxicated? Are you intoxicated? No. He's laughing. He's acting strung out, honestly. He's acting like he's on something else besides alcohol. But I'm like, bro, this is weird. So on the way walking towards his apartment, he keeps walking behind me. And my spidey senses is tingling. Like my fight or flight instincts are up. So he keeps walking behind me and I'm keep looking back, pulling him up beside me. Like, don't walk behind me. I don't like that. Walk beside me or walk in front of me, but don't walk behind me. So he is in front of me or whatever. And he opens the door to his apartment. We go inside and we're talking and he's just acting weird. Like he's saying weird things. He's doing all like this. He just being weird, like strung out really. And I'm like, yeah.
He was on that stuff.
I'm about to go. I don't take my coat off, my hat, my purse. I still got everything with me. It's like, yeah, I'm about to go. And he stops me from leaving. Like I walk to the door and he shuts, like he pushes the door closed when I'm at the door. And he sits there, locks the door, puts his hand like this and it's like, you're not leaving. And he turned the lights off before he said this. He said, you're not leaving. So I'm backing up. I got my keys in between my fingers like this. Because I ain't got no weapon. But I got the sharpest key. And I'm going to be ready to jab you just in case I need to. So I'm backing up and he walking closer. I'm backing up. He walking closer. I'm backing up. And it gets to a point where like I can feel myself shaking because at this point I'm terrified. And like he keeps like trying to grab onto me and I'm like, let me go. He said, just give me a hug. So I hug him and then I let go. And I was like, okay, just let me go. And he started walking towards me. So I sit on the couch and he's standing over me like this. Just standing over me. Just saying weird stuff. And at this point, I'm not crying, but you can tell I'm on the verge of tears. Because he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, you're scaring me. Like, I don't want to be here. I want to leave. I'm about to go. And he looked me dead in my face and he laughed. He said, you're not leaving here. I'm going to hurt you. He literally said it just like that. Just like that, that man looked at me and said that I'm not going to leave and that he was going to hurt me. At that point, I immediately jump up. And I'm like...
Y'all ever had somebody just look you in your face and let you know, like, this is it? If so, drop down in the comments. If you're comfortable, okay? If you're comfortable, drop down in the comments what that was like. You're here today, thank God, because you're able to comment. But I can't imagine already being scared, right? He won't let you leave, putting his hand on the door. You ain't going nowhere, locking him up, whatever. And then laughing, big fat smile on your face. And you're telling me like, I'm about to hurt you. You ain't going nowhere. Whatever you thought you were about to do, no. This may be your birthday and your last day here. Scary, man.
Even out this door. And I would hate to hurt you, but if you stop me, like, and he following me towards the door, he's walking behind me still, and once I'm walking towards the door, he grabbed me again, wrapped his arms around me. I was able to kind of dodge it a little bit because I already knew something was coming. Like, I knew in my head that if I didn't get out of that apartment, I was going to die. So I was already prepared for me to fight him off. So I got him off me. I walk out in the hallway. I'm glad I'm in the hallway at this point because there's neighbors. So if something happened, I was going to scream at the top of my lungs. So I'm walking down the hallway and he's like, oh, come back, come back, come back. I'm like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I was joking. I was joking like it was a joke. And I'm getting down the hallway. I'm not even turning around. I'm walking. He catches up to me and I said, like, do you remember what you said? He's like, what? And I told him. And he was like, oh, I didn't say that. You're hearing things. You're just hearing things. That scared me even more. I was like, nah, I'm about to go. So he was trying to coax me back inside, but I looked at him and everything in me told me if I were to go back into his apartment, I would not make it out. I knew that if I didn't get away, that I was going to end up dead. I don't care if he said he was joking or not. I was completely terrified. So I make it to my car.
And it's like, you joking or you didn't say that? You saying you was just joking, and then the next minute you're saying, oh, I didn't say that, you're hearing things. So which one is it?
Haven't heard from him since. He didn't call to apologize, hasn't called to check on me or anything. And actually, I blocked him on everything. And that was what led me to leave my husband. Because I'm afraid for my life. And I refuse to be a true crime story. If your husband or your person shows any signs of domestic violence, leave the first time. Even if they apologize and beg on their knees, leave, please. I considered going back today. Even after everything that happened, even after everything I told you guys, I considered going back today. I left open a pathway for him to contact me. Wasn't aware that I left it open, but I did. And it ripped open those wounds that were just freshly stitched together. It ripped them open and my heart started bleeding for him. That longing to just go back to my husband was there in full force. He was telling me all these sweet nothings and promises and passion. And a part of me wanted to fold. A big part of me wanted to fold. I heavily considered it, actually. But then I remember what I wrote in my journal when I wrote down a list of the non-negotiables that I must have in a man. And I wrote that down not because I'm searching for another man, but for moments like this when I'm teetering on the edge of what I said I was going to do, I have to go back and look at that and ask myself, is this something that I'm really happy with? Even before all of the things that happened between us, did I ever feel like I was really loved in that relationship? Did I ever feel like that? Or was I just so infatuated with the idea of what I could have that I fell in love with the potential? I desired marriage so much. I desired to just be with somebody so much. I was tired of kissing frogs. I just wanted my prince. And at the first sign of him being an inkling of what I wanted, my calls were in and they were not coming out. But I almost went back. And I know a lot of women, a lot of men who have been in domestic violence situations of abuse or addiction, they consider going back. It's a natural human thing to want to do. It takes strength, courage, and God to not go back. I'm never going to judge another woman or another man who goes back to a situation that's violent. I feel with them. I empathize with them because a lot of people who haven't been in situations don't understand what it's like to look at someone and still love them. Even though they're causing you harm, you still love them because you don't see them as the harm that they're causing. You see them for the representative of what people have been saying, what they showed you, or what they could be, the potential. You don't see them as like, oh, this person hurt me and that's all you see. No, there's more to it. I still see that person's heart there. I remember their laugh, their hugs, their kisses, the way they took care of me. So that doesn't just go away because something bad happens. I am in no way saying that I'm going back, because even though part of me wants to go back, a bigger part of me knows that I need to leave. A bigger part of me knows I have to leave. I really feel like that's where God is leading me. I'm about to cry. I prayed on it after, and Like there was just so much revelation going through my head. And I'm like, did this person really love me? Was this person in love with me? Did they really like me, or did they like the idea of me? I do believe that he felt like he wasn't good enough, that he couldn't meet my expectations in our relationship, in our marriage, and that could be the cause of many things. And you know, I wish I could have done a better job at that, but I don't know. Like, he said that I was always pointing out what he did wrong, and I hate that he felt that way. I did try my best to make sure that he felt appreciated, loved, and respected. I did everything I could, and I'm not taking away from what he felt. His feelings are valid, just like mine are. So it makes me wonder, like, are we compatible? Are we compatible? Aside from everything that happened, aside from the love that we have for one another, are we compatible? I don't know. But I did consider going back. And now it's a time where it's going to be extremely difficult, because my heart and my mind are torn. My heart is going one direction, my mind is going another. And I just wish I would have knew that I left that avenue of communication open. I would have closed it, because now I'm in turmoil. Now I have to fight a little harder not to go back. So yeah, that's the reality, the truth of my situation. I know a lot of people can relate. So yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on my journey. Yeah, this is gonna be difficult. It's gonna be long. I hate hurting people, even when they hurt me. I hate hurting people. So the idea of me hurting him in this way hurts me, and I think that's a big part that's wanting me to stick around, because I don't want him to be hurt. I don't want to be the cause, you know. But at some point, I have to choose myself, and I'm choosing now to choose myself. So I consider.
So for the first time in a long time, I just listened. I had some questions in between. I wanted to stop, and I said, no, I'm just going to actually listen to this 6-minute video in its entirety, right? And I'm glad I did. I feel like she's probably the only person that gave me a good insight on why you would even want to go back to a situation like that. Because if I'm being honest, I've never been in a situation, never been in a DV situation. I've never been the aggressor. I've never been the abused. Okay. So her saying, you know, she feels bad for certain things that he brought up that she did in their relationship has her, you know, questioning, are they compatible? She also mentions not wanting to be the cause of his hurt and his pain, because the anger stems from somewhere, you know, and it could be her, it could be past traumas, it could be his childhood, it could be a lot of different factors, or it could be a build-up situation, or it could be something that was in him before he even knew her. That was just him. He had issues before he even knew her, and he packed those issues up in a bag and took them with him into this new relationship. But her feeling sorry for him and her feeling bad for him has her battling with herself on, should I stay or should I go? Should I give it one more chance or should I let it go? And I'm also thinking, this is an assumption, but I'm also thinking that if she were to lean more towards give him another chance, I think she's going to try and be a better partner to him in hopes that he will change. But just like rehab, you have to be willing to go. You have to be willing to go through that change. You have to be willing to want to change, you know? And I wouldn't want her to get back in that situation. That man choked you, okay? You had an outer body experience. Everything was slow motion. He almost took you away from your child. And then he's acting kind of crazy, acting kind of weird. I didn't say that. Or no, I was just kidding about that. I didn't mean that. Oh, I did mean that. It's like he got some things he needs to sort out. But even after he sort those things out, I think it should just be a done data. If it was me, what do you guys think or suggest? Have you ever been with someone who had an issue likes you and you said, I will stay with you. We can continue this relationship if you get help. And then that person goes off because they want better for themselves in the relationship. They go off, they get help. Did you go back to them? If so, were they really a changed person? Like, is everything peachy now? Or did they revert back to their old ways? Or was everything good until a tragic event happened? Someone close to them maybe passed away, or maybe they lost their job, or, ended up homeless or lost their car. What was that like? I don't really hear too many stories. I'm going to actually probably look for some. I don't hear too many stories about the partner going to go get, help for the relationship and what happens after that. Does everything go good? Everything go back bad? Like, what's tea? I'm gonna look into that, but y'all let me know if you're comfortable your experiences down in the comment section so I can get an even better understanding of why the victim continuously goes back to their abuser.
I mean, I am genuinely afraid because, I'm not in a financial situation to just pack up and leave where I am. Like I said, when I first made my post, it was me just talking to like the 300 followers that I have. Now there's 3,000 plus people, and the video has spread far more than I could have possibly imagined. So I am genuinely actually afraid, and I didn't want to admit that on here, but I'm genuinely afraid, and I don't know, starting to second guess if I should have, posted my story. I'm so thankful that it has helped people, and women can relate. I hate that women can relate, but it also helps me not to feel alone. I know it helps them not to feel alone, and I've been able to talk to so many wonderful women and encourage so many people, and they've encouraged me. So I'm so thankful for that. But there's still a part of me that is genuinely afraid. I want to get out. I want to get out from where I am. I want to move. I want to move to another city. I want to move to another state. I want to move. I want to get out. But I can't do that right now. I'm stuck here. So, I just didn't expect it to do all that. And yeah, so I just want y'all to keep that in mind when y'all say things like, oh, I want to hear his side of the story. Like, in order to hear his side of the story, first of all, he'd have to be on social media. Secondly, he'd have to see the story. And I don't think y'all understand the magnitude of that. I don't think people understand what that could mean if he sees it, So I just never thought that it'd go that far. I never thought that it'd even be possible for him to see it, because I have him and his family blocked on everything, But I don't know. I mean,
That was the last video that she posted. That was 13 hours ago. So this is fresh on the scene, y'all. I'm glad she shared her story. Like she said, I hate that there are people who can relate, but it does help her to know that she's not alone, and help others know that they are not alone. It gives others encouragement and motivation, to keep going and move towards moving on. You know what I'm saying? Move towards letting your abuser go. I hope you guys got something out of this video, whether you're in this situation or was in this situation, or you never know, the situation may come to you in the future. You will kind of know how to move, things to look for, red flags to identify, so that you don't get too deep into it and don't end up in some of these situations that these women, and sometimes men I react to, are going through. And I react to this stuff. It's not for entertainment all the time or for tea all the time. We like to kick shit over here, okay? We like to talk a little mess. We like to kiki. We like to laugh. But every now and then we get a video. And sometimes I don't even know it's as serious as it is until I get into it and I'm reacting to it with y'all, because I react to my videos blindly. Like, I will probably click on the video, listen to the hook, fast forward, see how if the story is like kind of flowing, if they're telling it good, if they're doing a lot of ums and oohs and dropping the phone and stuff like that, I throw them to the side. And if you guys have ever sent me videos and you wonder, like, why she didn't react to that? Their hook wasn't hooking for me. And if your story ain't flowing, you ain't a good storyteller, you're not going to keep my attention. The reaction is going to be whack. Just telling you straight up. So sometimes we get videos like this where it ends up being like ultimately serious. Like there was not a kiki moment in here at all. Yeah, I mentioned the Four Locos and I was like, you a little crazy for that. But aside, from that little bitty part, this was a serious reaction. And I bring these types of reactions to you guys. And even though sometimes I might get choked up, sometimes I might get emotional or in my feelings about something that's being said in the video, I still bring it to you guys because you never know who it helps. As she mentioned, she posted the video for her 300 followers on her TikTok. And now she has over 3,000. She probably has even more than that. But she has thousands of supporters now listening to this story. And some of those followers are here for the tea. They just want to know what happens next, whatever. Some people are here to be messy. Well, I want to hear his side. And he has the right to share his side. And if I ever came across his side, I would react to it because I want to know his side. Because I would like to know where all this stems from. I don't want to know his side to make her out to be a liar or to compare what was said between her story and his story. I want to know his background. Because as well as I'm concerned about her, I'm concerned about him too. A lot of the times we are upset at the abuser. And we have a right to be. Because you shouldn't be putting your hands on someone else. You shouldn't be threatening someone else's life. That person has went through something. Something has happened to that person that made them the person that they are in this time. That person has went through something, and that is the reason why they are the way that they are. And me, I like to know the reasoning behind stuff. So that's why I would want to hear his side of the story. But I hope you guys took something away from it, learn something. You can share it along. If you're going through this, I hope and pray that you make it out. And to the storyteller, I hope she makes sure all of those ways to be contacted by him are closed. I hope she doesn't go back. I hope she stays strong. I hope he gets better and he gets the help that he needs. But I hope she moves on, stays strong for her child, and don't get sucked into the little cute stuff that he said. Don't get sucked into the promises and, none of that. And even if he goes off and get rehab and says, look, I have do they get certificates? I don't really know what you get after you complete rehab. But look, I have my rehab completion papers and I'm a changed man and I'm this and that. Let him be a changed man for somebody else. Congratulate him. It's supposed to be no contact, but if if he finds a way to contact you or he run into you in the store and he, is telling you and you can see he's looking better, he's cleaned up, his skin is looking good and he tells you I was rehab and I'm better now, congratulate him and let him, don't exchange no number, don't exchange no social media, none of that. Let him be great for someone else. You continue to be great and strong for yourself and move on. All right. That's all I got for this one. If you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Burn it up, was up. That bitch gon' not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Burn it up, was up. That bitch gon' not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. What it do? It is your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, I was scrolling on TikTok, y'all, and I came across another one of those story times that we love oh so well over here. What caught my attention about this one is it's only 4, maybe 5 parts, and it's fairly short. So we should be able to get this in, react to this, and put it out without having to wait 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours for King to upload part 2, 3, 4, or even 5. All right. So we should be here for a good time and not a long time. So I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you fuck with me like I fuck with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. And it is time for a nail reset. I'm out here looking a mess. I'm just gonna do a clear set this time. No designs, no stickers, no nothing. Keep it simple. Let's get into this story time, y'all. Let go.
Normally wouldn't come on here and bash any of my exes. If we go through a breakup, I'm not gonna badmouth them or anything. However, this is a story that needs to be told. It needs to be out in the open so people are aware that these things happen. And you don't think it's going to happen until it happens to you. So it is time for me to break my silence and tell you guys my story. So back in May, I met a guy on here on TikTok. Things were great. We were FaceTiming. I was flying out to see him in Texas. We were just like, we really caught a good vibe and we were rocking and rolling. Next thing leads to another, and he's wanting me to move out there. So after 3 months of knowing this guy, I decide I'm going to pack up everything and move out there.
I'm curious to know if she's correcting herself on the screen, saying, no, it was 1 month, or if she's saying 3 months, not 1 month. Damn, I wish she would have made that a little bit more clear, because 3 months is like, but 1 month? Girl, if you didn't already plan on packing your life and moving to that side of town, moving to that state, you moving for him in 1 month is crazy, sis. But go ahead.
Because for some reason, I wanted to get out of this town, and this was like a way out for me, and I thought it would be fun. I love this guy, and what could go wrong? So before deciding that I'm going to go out to Texas, I chose to investigate this guy and, kind of make sure he's a good guy to move out there with, because I'm moving 13 hours away. So as a realtor, we have a forewarn app, which is where you can look up any stranger you're about to show a house to or anything like that, and it shows you their criminal background record, all of that stuff, so that you remain safe. So I look him up on my forewarn app. His slate is clean. Everything on there is perfect. There's no charges. He seems to be a great guy on paper. So therefore, I decide, okay, I'm going to move out to Texas with him. So on June 24th, we moved out to Texas. On June 29th, on my birthday, I get a text from my mom. And this is a screenshot of his mugshot. Now, it's a charge for harassment. When I asked him about it, he basically chalked it up to misunderstanding, nothing should have happened, whatever. So me, I have no reason not to trust this man. So, okay, I'm going to go with it. Little did I know. So a month of me being out there,
really quick, y'all. It just came to my head, right? I wasn't going to say nothing, but I'm going to go ahead and say it and get it out. She met this man online. She already did a background check. Apparently she's a realtor, right? She already did the background check. The background on paper, the dude clean. He ain't got no record. He ain't got nothing against him, nothing. Dude clean. You know what I'm saying? Shining like a whistle. Cool. She moves out there. Her mom sends her a mug shot, right? Dude say, misunderstanding. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's not what it looked like. I promise. Right? And she says, I have no reason to not trust him. I feel like you do at this point. I can't really even say what's a perfect or a good time frame to tell someone about your criminal history. Even if there was a mishap, even if there was a misunderstanding, even if it was a situation where I got booked and went to jail and they wrongfully accused me of something and I fought that case and it's supposed to be thrown out. You're not supposed to be able to see it. You're not supposed to have no connection to it, nothing. I can see if there was a total misunderstanding with something and you are not a criminal and you did not commit that crime, but you at one point had a record, but it's supposed to be clean. It's supposed to be wiped. You're not supposed to be able to find this stuff. So with that, I feel like you should be open, and have that conversation, even though it's not even supposed to be found. It's not supposed to be surfacing no internet. It's not supposed to be on no public record. None of that. I feel like that conversation should be had. Hey, I had a mishap back in the day. Wooty, wooty, dooty, dooty. And, conversation starter, I guess. And no, you don't have to go off telling every woman the moment you meet them about something that happened that you were wrongfully accused of and all of that. But at some point, I feel like that conversation should be had before the relationship gets serious. Now, these people are moving really fast. Again, it's not clear. Did she move 3 months into knowing this guy or 1 month? Either way, they move super fast. They move they're really right there, neck and neck with moving just as fast as lesbians move, right? And Melvante said the gays move fast like that too. So she's right there She just missed the mark on moving as fast as homosexuals. But the fact that she did pick her life up and move because she wanted to get away from her town anyway, I feel like that conversation should have been said, even if it's not what you think, not what it's supposed to be, because, hey, I did a little background check on you, my boy, and the background came back clean. However, you got a mugshot out here. My mama found it. You go by another name or something? Change your identity up on me or what? I feel like it was a big deal. And I feel like that was the moment where you had a reason to not fully trust him. Because if you guys are moving in together and starting to become a unit, that conversation should have been had. That situation should have been cleared up before y'all even moved in together. And that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Remember, I like to talk, not tussle. Let's talk about it, baby.
Everything was fine up until the last of it. But we were traveling, we were doing things together, we were like playing house and everything. It was great while it lasted. Now he was starting to get a little bit controlling, saying things like I couldn't wear certain bikinis, I couldn't drink when I wanted to, I couldn't like watch The Bachelor or any TV show that I love to watch. I was not allowed to do these things. So red flags in my head are going off. I'm already kind of like weary that he's starting to be controlling, and I don't like that. So now we get into the story. August 1st, we had a river trip planned to New Braunfels with his brother, his brother's girlfriend, a big group of people. We were all going to go rent a cabin, go tubing down the river, go to a concert that Saturday night, just spend a whole weekend away and doing fun things. So on August 1st, we get to the cabin. We're settling in, everything's good. I get a phone call from my best friend who I haven't spoke to in a month because we've both been moving and traveling and just haven't had time to talk to each other. So she calls me, so I answer. We're on the phone for probably 30 minutes or so until he pokes his head into the cabin. And he tells me, hey, I'm about to hop in the shower. Well, my friend on the phone thought that he said, hurry up and get off the phone. Well, he heard that and was like, I didn't say that, but if I did, you're going to get the fuck off the phone. And at this point, I flip. I'm like, oh, we are not going down this road. You are not about to control me, all of this stuff. So to kind of lay the scene out for you guys.
Now, hold on. Okay. I'm not saying that his choice of words was wise, okay? I'm not saying that what he said was right. I'm not saying that it was cool to come off like that type of dude, but looky here, okay? Your friend misheard. Now, I don't know how y'all get down, okay? But us over here, we don't play that. You make sure as the girlfriend and the best friend, you know, the person that's in between, you make sure to keep all parties in check. That's your job, because her best friend is not his best friend, and her boyfriend is not her best friend's boyfriend. So she got to make sure she keep the whistle in her mouth at all times, keeping everybody in check. Now, she didn't express what she said to the best friend, and I hope I'm not speaking too soon. But if the best friend want to go off and cut the rug because she thought somebody said something, she's in the wrong. First of all, don't even address my man. Even if he really did say that, don't even address my man, okay? You just stay on the phone. If I didn't call you and say, girl, he whoopty and he controlling me, whatever, don't insert yourself. He said, hey, babe, I'm finna get in the shower. He wasn't stunting your phone call at this time. But now that she want to go off, she want to act like she play a part in this relationship, I'm going to give her what she want. And if I told her to get off the phone, she would. How about that? A little sass in it too. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if she corrected the friend. And I'm not saying what he said was right, but the friend was definitely wrong, especially because she misheard. She was just loud and wrong. And maybe her name is Brittany, and maybe Brittany just needed that little bitty push to stand up to him because he has been getting beside himself lately. Maybe she needed that little push, but that was the wrong situation, or that was the wrong timing to go ahead and address him, especially if she's still on the phone. And the moment her friend said whatever her friend said on the phone, she said, hold up now, Elizabeth. Hold on, Elizabeth. That's not what he said. What he said was he's going to get in the shower. So chill out on all that. And then the moment he came back, hey, I told her what you said. She misheard. Go take your shower, babe. I'll be off the phone by the time you get out. Instead, Brittany took the opportunity to say, oh, no, you did not say that to my best friend. How y'all think it ended for Brittany? And I'm not saying, I have to say this multiple times. I have to say it. Those who have been here for a while, y'all definitely get me. But for the new people, and also the ones that have been here for a while, but they all the way in the back, I got to say it multiple times, okay? I am not taking up for this man. I am not saying that his actions are justifiable. I am not saying what he said was okay. I'm just giving my opinion on what I would have did in this situation. To hopefully end the call with my best friend on good terms and continue to have a good day with my man. That's all I'm saying, all right? All right? So whatever comes next, I'm not giving an excuse for. Whatever she says he does to her next, I am not giving an excuse for. Let's get back to it. I didn't talk long enough. It's just so many disclaimers I have to give. Jeez Louise.
There's 3 parts to this cabin. There's a cabin here, and then a big main cabin in the middle. Our shower, we're in this one over here. We have this one all to ourselves. Our shower is outside. It's like an outhouse. So at this point, he goes out to the bathroom to shower. So I follow him in there, and he's in the shower still arguing, and I'm still yelling at him for trying to control me. So he tells me to get the F out of there. I'm not allowed to shower. So I go back into our room in the cabin, and I'm sitting on the bed. When he comes in, he starts basically yelling, and he's like, you're not welcome here. I paid for this place. Get out. Well, I remain sitting on the couch. Or on the bed, I'm sorry. So he comes up to me, picks me up, and starts charging at the door with me. So at this point, he has me pinned against the door. I literally have my hand on his throat, like pushing him away from me. Now there's like an argument that he has just put his hands on me. So I try to grab my phone and call someone who is inside to try to help me. As soon as I pick up my phone, he yanks it out of my hands. I have scratches on my hands from him taking the phone from me. He shuts it off. So I run over to the window to try to bang on it and get anyone to hear me that's outside. But they all have music playing. They can't hear. No one hears me. At this point, he comes over and yanks me away from the window. And he's so close to me that I literally just like raise my knee up to barely graze his balls because like just a warning, like back up or I'll do this. Well, that pisses him off and he yanks me, throws me on the ground. I had like my whole left side of the face hit the ground. And at this point, like I guess he realized, oh my God, like I messed up. So he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I can't live with myself that I just put my hands on you. This is not right, blah, blah. So we talk through all of it and come to the conclusion. We just go to sleep and we're going to try to have a good rest of the weekend. So Friday, August 2nd, we had plans to go to the river and that night go to dinner. So we go out 4 hours tubing on the river. He's been drinking, I've been drinking. We're both tipsy. And we get home, I start showering to get ready for dinner. Well, next thing I know, he comes in the shower holding my phone. Now, I had deleted Snapchat and everything before moving out there. He had got onto my phone and re-downloaded Snapchat. So he walks in the shower and he's showing me a text message that I had sent to somebody on Snapchat probably a year ago. And he's like, what the fuck is this? You're a whore. And he grabs my throat and throws me into the shower. At this point, I don't want to be locked into the cabin again. I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know what he's about to do, but he seems pissed off. Well, he hops in his truck and leaves. So at this point, I hop out of the shower. I throw my bikini back on and I run into the main cabin to tell everyone to try to find someone to help me. So I start showing them the bruises I had on my arms. I had a big bruise on my neck from him throwing me on the ground the night before and showed them the scratches. And so I'm telling everybody what happened. I'm asking them for help. And meanwhile, he's gone in his truck somewhere. So when I go back into the cabin to show everyone what he's done, these girls look at me and they tell me that I'm not the first girl this has happened to. They start telling me all these stories and everything. At this point, he comes back up the driveway. So his brother and all of the guys there go outside and try to calm him down and figure out what's going on. So at this point, he's mad that they're all talking to him and he leaves again. So then I start looking for my phone because he had it last. Obviously, he showed me in the shower my messages. So he had it last. I'm looking for my phone because he wants me to leave. And so we're all saying, okay, well, she will leave if she can find her phone so she could get an Uber. So I'm looking for my phone, can't find it anywhere. I start reaching out to my mom, to two of the girls I know that have my location on my phone. I DM'd them off of a girl that was in the cabin with me. I DM'd them off of her Instagram. So I finally get my mom on the phone and asked her to track my location. And at this point, it's coming up as no location found because the location has been turned off. So at this point, his brother calls him and he's like, hey, where is her phone? She needs it so she could get up and she could leave and go do whatever she needs to do. And he claims he left it on our nightstand in our cabin. So all of us go out to the cabin. We're tearing the cabin apart trying to find my phone. We can't find it anywhere. At this point, the location is turned off. We know he has my phone. So then he comes back up into the driveway, goes in there and packs all my stuff, brings it into the main cabin and is telling me to leave. So we continue to tell him I can't go anywhere if I don't have my phone. Well, he doesn't want to ruin everyone's weekend. So he tells everyone, hey guys, y'all just go to dinner. I'll stay here with Brittany and help her look for her phone. Because we don't want to ruin your guys' weekend. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here telling everybody, I do not want to be alone with this man after what he did to me the night before. So they come to the conclusion, okay, well, we'll just go to dinner. We'll take him with us. And Brittany, you stay here at the cabin by yourself. So now I don't get dinner. And now I have to be at a cabin in the middle of nowhere by myself with no phone. So they go to dinner. He drives separately to dinner. And so I'm just sitting out on the porch by myself staring at the sky because there's no TV. There's nothing to do there.
It's giving setup. I know we're not there yet, y'all. But just from what I'm hearing, it's giving setup. No. And she's talking about, I don't get any dinner. Who gives a damn about the dinner? Fuck the dinner. We looking for the phone. We can't find the phone. Not only can we not find the phone, you say you don't want to be there alone, and he just insists on them going to dinner and not having their night ruined, and they just insist on him going with them and leaving you in the middle of nowhere with no phone. And I'm not saying that I would do this, but I would have felt probably a little bit better if somebody was like, I know you can't find your phone, but since you will be here alone, here's my phone. And if you find your phone and leave, just leave my phone here, which is just like, that's a big risk. Phones are expensive. But I'm just saying she's there with no phone, with nobody's phone. Ain't no way. I wouldn't have been out there anyway, but ain't no way.
Until next thing I know, I hear a truck coming up the driveway. So he comes up. He had apparently drove to the restaurant, got there, turned around and came back. So now it's me and him alone at this cabin. So he comes up the stairs, still cussing me out, still telling me that I'm a whore and all of this stuff. He then tells me that we're going to leave the cabin and drive 4 hours back to Lumberton, Texas. And I reply by saying, we have been drinking all day. I don't want to go anywhere with you after you've been so drunk. I don't feel comfortable driving in the car with you, trying to plead my case. And he's like, basically just saying, you will come with me and all this stuff. So he forces me to pack my bags up really fast and get into the truck with him. It's 11 o'clock at night and we are having to drive 4 hours back to Lumberton. So we start going down the road and he's speeding, everything. He's still cussing me out. And I look at him and I say, I would never say the things that you're saying to me to the person that I love. And I was like, I could say a lot of things about you, but I don't. And at this point, that makes him mad. And he grabs the gun that's beside him in the truck, and he holds it to my leg, and he says, "Oh yeah? What would you say then? What would you effing say, Brittany?" So I don't know what was going through my mind, but I just remained silent. And it kind of just shocked me. It blew my mind that this man now has a gun to my leg. He's been drinking all day. Now we're driving, and it just wasn't a good situation. So I remained quiet. Well, then he comes to reality and he realizes, oh, I just held a gun against your leg. So now he feels bad that he did this to me. So he pulls over in Buc-ee's and asks me if I needed water, if I need to go to the bathroom. So I go in and get a water, come back out, and he has the door locked with the gun sitting between his legs. So I'm knocking on the window. I finally get into the truck and I realize, he still has the gun. And he's like, "I can't live with myself. I just held this gun to you. Like, I've already put my hands on you. I'm a terrible person." And he was like, "I just want to end it all." So now he's saying he's going to kill himself in the driver's seat. So I have to talk him down, and I tell him, "How about you let me drive the rest of the way home and you calm down." So that's what happened. We get back to our house at 5 a.m. and we go to sleep. Now, I wake up the next morning and I still don't have my phone at this point. So I find my MacBook computer and I log on to it because I'm like, okay, maybe I really lost my phone. I was drunk. Maybe I left it somewhere. I don't know. So I keep my debit card in the back of my phone. So I was like, if I did leave it somewhere, maybe I should turn that off, lock all that stuff. So I log on to my First Citizens and I lock my bank account. But when I pull that up, I see that it says a Venmo. I Venmo'd him $500, which I know I didn't do. So now I'm starting to get suspicious. I'm like, okay, well, he just did that. He just gave himself my money. So then I go to find my iPhone on my MacBook. And it shows my phone is in his truck right outside. So at this point, I'm still looking to see what else he might have done on my phone. I pull up my messages and I see that he had been texting his ex-fiance, acting as me. He was sitting there basically, like, from what I gathered from it, it sounded like he was asking her for a threesome. And it was just a weird situation. So at this point, he comes walking into the living room and I look at him and I was like, why did you Venmo yourself $500? And he was like, "Oh, I was just trying to be a dick." And so he sent that money back to me. But then I was like, "Why did you message your ex-fiance acting as me?" And he said that he was trying to embarrass me. So then I tell him, "Okay, well, it shows my phone is in your truck, so can we go out there and look for it?" So we both go outside. This is like morning lunchtime. We go outside and we start tearing his truck apart, trying to find my phone. Couldn't find it anywhere, imagine that. So we go back inside, watch a little bit of TV. We finally have like a conversation about what all just happened. And now this man is a manipulator, master with words. So he's like, "I'm so sorry. We were talking about the Bible. We were talking about like how we both wanted to change and all this stuff." So
Baby, I wouldn't have been able to get past my phone is in your car. Bump all that. I don't care about no scriptures right now. I don't care about this past weekend. I don't care about no text messages. You sent me my money back. Just give me my money. You already did that. So until my phone is in my hand, we have nothing to talk about. I'm trying to see how do people just be letting this stuff go? Give me my property. Why are you holding on to my phone, sir? That's crazy. I wouldn't have been able to do nothing with it. And it ain't the fact that it's my phone. I don't care if we was looking for an earring. I don't care if we was looking for chapstick. If it's something that I want, that you walking around here lying saying you don't have. And then you can't say you don't have it if you've been doing all these things. You didn't do this stuff before you came and busted me in the shower and was like, oh, you're a slut. You sent yourself a Venmo and was texting your ex after, so just give me my phone. Why are you playing games? Golly, give me my shit.
We are finally back on good terms. And it's like now 5:30 in the evening. And he looks at me and was like, so do you want your phone back? So I was like, yeah, I would really like my phone back. Meanwhile, during this time, I didn't have my phone. My friends were all calling me, texting me, trying to figure out what was going on because I had just asked them to try to track my location and it had been turned off. So they're all worried about me. My mom's still worried about me. And he was like getting mad. He was like, how many people do you have involved with this? He was like, you already ran into the cabin and told everybody what was going on. You're getting all these people involved and it has to stop. So I told him, I was like, well, let me go outside and get my phone out of your truck and I can call everybody back and let them know that I'm okay. So at this point, I go. He tells me where his little secret hiding place is in the truck. So he has a Carhartt seat cover. And underneath that seat cover, in the back of his seat, he had turned my phone off and slid it behind there. So I go turn my phone back on and I start calling my friends who had been worried about me. So my first friend I call, she tells me, she was like, Brittany, somebody was on your Snapchat last night and I know it wasn't you. And she was like, they were asking me for nudes, but they were acting as you. So then she sends me the screenshots and I see where he had texted and said, hey, his name has been watching porn and I would rather him watch somebody I know than someone I don't know. Would you send me your nudes? And so clearly this isn't me. So she texts my phone at this point, which was the night before, texted my phone and said, hey, are you Snapchatting me? And he replied, yes. So he's still impersonating me. So at this point, like, he's right inside the door and I tell her on the phone, I was like, listen, I'll go in and talk to him and try to figure this out, whatever. So I go inside and I show him the screenshots and I was like, what is this? And I was like, so you also asked my friend for nudes off my phone? And he was like, oh no, I had your Snapchat and I did change the password, but I changed it to an easy password. So it was probably a hacker got in there and hacked your phone. So I told him, so this hacker hacked into my Snapchat and my phone number. Cause I was like, my friend just texted both my Snapchat and my phone number in which you replied to. So he gets pissed off because now he's caught. So he was like, get the F off my property. You're not welcome here any longer. So I grabbed my laptop and my phone and I start walking up the road. And I didn't know who to call because at this point, his parents are in Singapore. Everybody we were with at the cabin is still at the cabin 4 hours away. His sister's in Singapore with them, so the only person I had to call was his brother and sister-in-law. So I start walking up the road and I call them. And I ask them to come pick me up because I don't know what he's about to do and I'm scared. And they just had a newborn baby. So clearly they're like, Brittany, we don't want to come get you and bring you to our house and like risk him showing up here with guns or anything like that. Like, we're not about to put our family in that situation. So they were like, just stay on the phone. We'll call the cops for you. At this point, I'm still walking up the road and he hops in his truck and comes up beside me. I'm still on the phone with them. So he's yelling at me to get in the truck. And I replied, no, I'm not getting in the truck with you. And he pulls his gun out again and was like, get in the truck. And I said, no, you have a gun. I'm not getting in the truck, so that the people on the phone know that he has a gun. He realizes I'm not going to get into the truck. So he hops out of his truck, comes over to me, rips my phone out of my hand, and picks me up and throws me inside of our house. So the police chief calls him. and says, hey, I just got this phone call. Is everything okay? And he replies, oh yeah, everything's fine. She's packing up her stuff now. She'll be leaving. Everything's good. Hangs up the phone. Nobody ever comes. No police ever comes to check on us. Nothing. So at this point, he's had about enough of it. And he looks at me and was like, let's get this over with. Picks me up and takes me into the bedroom. And all of these thoughts are going through my mind. I don't know what's about to happen. But he throws me on the bed and he grabs a pillow and he smothers me 3 separate times. And by the 3rd time, I was kind of just over it. And I kicked him off of me, which he then went flying up and hit the bed frame on the bed with his shin. And he got so mad that he got hurt that he charged after me, grabbed my throat, and started strangling me. And everything started going black. I literally thought, this is it. This is where I die. And I don't know what happened, but right when I was about to kick the bucket, he stopped. And he got off of me and literally flipped personalities. He was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Just breathe, breathe. He was like, you know, I would never do anything to hurt you, all of this stuff. And it was just manipulation. So that's what happened. We get back to our house.
I was just getting ready to say what it sounds like to me is he's doing all these things to kind of scare her and let her know I would get rid of you. I'm going to just say get rid of you if I wanted to. You know, these things are in the back of her mind, keeps these things in the back of her mind that he's done this before, he's blacked out before, or blacked out, you know, before. And because he didn't go all the way through with it, and then he acted so remorseful and he was so apologetic, it's just confusing her. And that's the plan the whole time, is just to manipulate her. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go just far enough for her to be scared, but I'm not going to go all the way through with it. He wanted her to be scared of him. He wanted her to maybe respect him on another level than what she was already doing. And I'm really pissed off that the cop called, spoke to him, and still didn't even come out to try and check, you know, on you. That's so messed up. That is messed up on all levels. They're here to serve and protect. And even with speaking with the woman involved in situations like that, I feel like you should still just come out and check just to be sure. You can never be too sure. Cop spoke to him. He like, oh yeah, everything good, never came. And then none of her family like flew out, came, tried to get her. I mean, I know they can't be there as quick as this happened, because if he would have went through with unaliving her, it would have been too late anyway. But damn, these are some unfortunate situations. And I don't feel sorry for any abusers. I don't side with any abusers. It's just very unfortunate that people are in these situations. And I know I seen a comment that said, King, you got to give some grace, because some people want to leave and they try to leave, and some people try to leave and they don't make it. And that's true. But I do feel like really, really, really deep down inside, the woman or the man that is being abused has to want to leave, at least. And from some of these stories I hear, the abuser leaves them totally alone. And once the abuser leaves them alone and not showing them any attention, then they go stalk the abuser. That's what's happening in a couple of these stories that I've reacted to. So it isn't even a case of the abuser won't let them go. And maybe the abuser did have thoughts on coming back a couple years later and ruining their lives. Who knows? But the way the story went, the abuser said, you know what, leave me alone. I'm going to leave you alone. That person got away. And they allowed their abuser to come back time and time again. And some of the abuse wasn't even physical. It was mental abuse. And I know that's hard to get out of. It's way easier said than done. Somebody mentally fuck you up. Ain't no just walking out the door on that. They done groomed you. They was there through deaths in your family. They was there when you didn't have nothing. Totally got up in your mind and messed you up. So I know it's not easy as just walking out of the door. But some of these victims are free, and they're the ones that go back. You got to want it for yourself, and once you get out of it, you got to go ahead and seek help. Make sure your mental right. Make sure you good up here. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to it.
I realized that because we packed up in a hurry to leave the cabin, I had left my purse with my keys in it. So that's still 4 hours away. I start realizing I don't have a way to get away. And his brother and everyone won't be back until tomorrow, the next day. And they were bringing all of our stuff we had left there back. So in my head, I'm thinking, I don't have a way out right now. And he's sitting here saying he's sorry and trying to manipulate me. So I start playing into his little manipulation. And I was like, okay, if you'll never do it again, I'll stay, all of this stuff. So it comes nighttime. We sleep on the couch outside because I can't sleep in the bedroom where he just tried to kill me. So we slept on the couch. The next day rolls around and we're just trying to live it normally. I'm still trying to play into all of this and make him think I'm okay. So I told him I was going to stay. Well, his brother and the family didn't get back until that night with my keys. And at this point, I have to drive 13 hours back to South Carolina. So I don't want to leave in the middle of the night and be driving sleepy at that time. So I have to wait one more night. And the next morning we wake up and he's thinking everything is good.
You guys see the difference in this story from other stories that we've reacted to here? She's pretending, and she's letting us know that she's pretending to be okay. She's pretending to go along with what he's doing, what he's saying, so they can have a smooth night so that she can plan her escape. That's all I was saying the last time I paused it. Some of these people are not even planning an escape, or not even thinking about, what do I need to do to survive? How am I going to successfully get away from this person? Or they would get away from this person. Don't got this person blocked on social media. Don't got this person blocked on their phone. Don't got this person blocked through email. So whenever the abuser is ready to call them up, baby, that call gonna go through every time. That call gonna go through every single time. Your abuser knows how to get through to you. So the abuser say what they need to say and do what they need to do, and then boom, they back in the cookie jar. But here's the difference. She's planning her escape. He thinks everything is all good. He thinks she's still in love. She's ready to get the hell away. She wants to leave. She wants her life. She no longer wants to deal with the abuse. She's making a plan. Let's get it.
Good. It's back to normal, all of that stuff. So he's supposed to go to work, and I tell him I'm going to go over to the other house, wash the dogs and bring them back, go to the grocery store, cook dinner, normal day. Well, as soon as I get in the car to head over to the other house, I call my friend back, and she just gets on the phone and she was like, Brittany, tell me right now that you're okay. And when she said that, I broke down and I was like, I have so much I need to tell you, like, I'm not okay. And I told her the story, and she was like, get out of there right now. She was like, this is your first time you're away from him. Run, book it home. And I'm crying and she's crying. So she calls my mom, three-ways us, and my mom's freaking out. I'm scared to death. I just start gunning it down the road all the way back to South Carolina. And I leave everything behind. Everything I owned is still at his house to this day. I came home with nothing but the clothes I was wearing and my purse. So, meanwhile, I don't know how much time I have to get down the road before he realizes that I've left. So I'm going 94 down the highway. I'm about probably 45 minutes to an hour out of Lumberton. I'm now in Louisiana. A cop pulls me over. So I tell the cop what's going on, and I know that he's probably going to be behind me in any second. So I'm telling this cop I'm running for my life, and I try to tell him the whole situation. And he just looks at me, writes me my ticket, gives it back to me, and was like, drive safe. So no help from him, no, hey, I'll bring you to the police station, you stay here, you're safe, nothing. Drive safe. So I keep gunning it. Well, about that time, my phone shuts off and it's reported lost, and the only number popping up to call is his number. So when this happens, I lose the phone call with my mom and my friend. I lose my directions. I can only call him. So I call him, and he's sitting here telling me that I'm a coward for leaving. when things got tough, all this stuff, and how much of a piece of shit I am. So already saying, if you don't think I'm right behind you, you're ridiculous. So he was like, I'll meet you in South Carolina. He said, you better have everybody ready, and whatever happens when I get there is on you. So my mom and my friend are trying to still call me. So I tell them, I'm like, hold on, let me answer this phone call. I'll call you back. I get on the phone with them, and they're like, Brittany, call the next police station. Tell them he is behind you, and see if you can stay there. And
Okay, so confused. You lose your phone call with your mom and your friend because your phone is reported stolen. The only contact number that you can reach is your now ex-boyfriend, but somehow your parents and your friend was able to get back through to you on the same phone. How? I missed something.
we will come pick you up. So I'm in Alabama at this point, and I call the next police station 13 minutes up the road. And I tell them the situation. I tell them I'm running from him, who he is chasing me right now. Well, the lady on the phone says, honey, we close at 5. You can't stay here. And your parents are going to have to drive a long way, so you can't stay here. So another cop that wouldn't help. So I then decide, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to gun it all the way home and whatever. So I call him back. And at this point, I'm trying to just talk him down because I have to get gas. I have to stop, and I don't want him to catch up to me because Lord knows what would happen. So I get on the phone and I'm like, listen, I just need to go home for a couple of days, clear my head, and then I'll be back. And trying to manipulate him a little bit since we're playing these games.
Right.
So he was like, oh, well, if I would have known you were coming back, I wouldn't be following you. So at this point, I finally get him to turn around. He goes home, but I finally get back to South Carolina that night. My stepdad had met me in Atlanta and kind of escorted me the rest of the way home. So I get home and sleep and think everything's fine. The next day, I start getting Google alerts on my phone. And it's saying that someone has logged into my Gmail and all of this stuff. So I'm starting to realize this man has hacked into my stuff. Because when he stole my phone for that entire day, he not only did everything he did on my phone, but he screenshotted all of my username and passwords and sent them to himself. So now he's got access to everything of mine. So I go in and I try to change my email passwords and all that stuff. And somehow he just hacked into it and changed it back. He set up a recovery email for his email address. So at this point, I had no way of getting into my emails. He was changing my Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. He changed all of those passwords. And if I wanted to try to change them, it would send an email to that email, the old email I had that he had access to. So I couldn't change anything. So then I was able to have someone come over here who's kind of tech savvy. And we created all of these burner fake emails and stuff and was able to go into my Instagram and Facebook and hack that stuff back and switch it to a new email and change the passwords and all of that stuff. Meanwhile, it pops up where you've been logged in at, and it would keep saying logged in Lumberton, Texas, an hour ago. So I know he was logging into all of my things out there, and Lord knows what he was doing on there. I realized that because we packed up in a hurry, I was able to get my Facebook and my personal Instagram back. Snapchat and my real estate Instagram, he still has. I've reached out to Snapchat and told them the situation, and Snapchat basically was just like, we're no further communicating with you. So I got blown off, and now he's on my Snapchat. I have my friends watching it. We see the numbers going up. We know that he's texting whoever he wants to text on there, acting as me. Not only my social medias and stuff like that he was able to get into, but I left everything out there. So I left my social security card, my birth certificate.
Damn.
My new driver's license was delivered to his house. So now all I have is a paper temporary driver's license that no one accepts. Not only did this man lay hands on me, try to murder me, and hacked into all of my accounts and stuff like that, but I received a message from his ex-fiance, who I had reached out to try to get some information from and just ask her, like, hey, is this who he was with you, or was this just me? And the messages I received from her is scary. So I first of all apologized to her for him acting as me and, Snapchatting her, texting her, whatever, acting as me. And she replied with, he was not only messaging her as me, he was sending her my pictures of me to her. He was calling her throughout the entire relationship, which was only 4 months, but was calling her, asking her to come over and like have sex with him and everything. And she proceeds to tell me like 3 different incidents from his ex-girlfriends that he has done to them. And this entitles like stealing their phone while they're asleep, creating Hinge, Tinder, Bumble accounts as them, using their nudes to message other girls and say, hey, I'll trade you my nudes for your nudes. And he was doing that with them. He had broken into an ex's house before, put a gun to his head before. So like, it's nothing new. But a lot of these girls have tried to go through with charges against him, which fell through. Because his family is so known, he would lawyer up and get these charges dropped. So it's kind of just, this is who he is, and his family isn't helping him get the mental help he needs. And it's just scary because people like this are out there and they're predators. I mean, he literally preyed on me to get me out there alone, isolated from my family. I'm 13 hours away. I had no one to help me. Not even the cops clearly didn't help me while I was out there. So, I think my main purpose of coming on here is to be a voice for the girls he's already done this to speak up for myself and stand my ground, and just try to like spread that awareness, because we do live in a day and age where we meet a lot of people on social media, online. And my main thing is, while there are some good relationships online, people do fall in love, whatever, do your research. Because I tried to do my research. I didn't go further to Google him because I thought that app was real. So do your research, because that charge he had, it was dropped. But if you Google his name, it's the first thing that comes up. So Google is your best friend. This is another scary thing. I'm going to add this in really fast. Because he had access to my emails, he was able to go back on my timeline and see like everything I'd looked up in the past, all the places I've traveled to, like different routes and stuff like that. They're able to see all of that. So my main piece of advice here is never let anybody know your freaking email password, because they can then hack everything you own. But yeah, so sorry this was a long story, but
no, that was very
like
short.
It needed to
I
be
appreciate
out there so that before he preys on his next victim. And with the Ends With Us coming out this month, it kind of just fell into the same timeline, and I wanted to get my story out there and let you guys know, like, you're not alone, because the amount of people I've already talked to about this, I've probably had 7 people tell me that they've been through the exact same thing. So it happens more than it should. So with me telling my story, as of right now, all of my things are still out in Texas, and he claims the only way I can get them back is if I come out there alone, which clearly is not going to happen. But that, and he still will not give me my passwords back to all of my accounts or stuff like that. I was able to create new email accounts and, like I said, get some of my social medias back. But the rest of the stuff is still in his hands. So if any of you guys have been through anything like this and know a different route to take, please reach out to me and kind of help me through this situation. Shout out to all of my friends and family who was there for me. When I was out there and he stole my phone, I didn't have to say a word to any of my friends. They have my location. As soon as it got shut off, they knew something was wrong. When they called me, I didn't have to say anything on the phone to them. They literally knew just by my voice that something was off. And I will forever be grateful for them. I have friends now who are trying to help me, like, because I have nothing. I don't even have my social security card to, like, get a job here or anything like that. I have friends who are allowing me to, you know, work for them and help out where I can to earn a little bit of money and stuff like that. So, I am just so thankful that I do have a good group of people here, a good support team and everything like that. So thank you guys. I was able to get my face.
That is what's up. It's all about having that support system and having somebody that got your back. They are there for you, making sure you good when you come out of a situation like this. I just hope that even if she did it in the past, as she does now, still attempt to press charges, still attempt to get something on paper about the situation between her and her ex. Because yes, she's here on social media and she's sharing her story. And yes, this guy has done a lot of things to attempt or to scare her into thinking that he would unalive her. But we don't know what will set a person off the edge. And he knows where this girl is. This girl's video is shown by, I believe one of these videos got at least 1 million views and counting. So I'm sure he probably ran across the video. Mutuals was like, hey, she talking about you or what? And you just never know. Although the authorities and the police, no one helped you in your desperate time of need, you just may run across somebody who's actually taking their job serious and they want to help you and they want you to get justice, you and along with all the other women that he has done that to. Okay. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that anyone can say to convince me that he had a right to abuse her in any way. There is not a thing a person can provide to me, say to me, show me. There is nothing that is going to change my mind about that fact right there. Taking her phone, physically putting his hands on her, mentally trying to F her up, threatening her, attempting to unalive her. There is no excuse in the world that would get me to say it's justifiable because it's unacceptable. Even that phone call with the best friend, unacceptable. And I know I made a little kiki, you know, and I like to kind of keep things light over here. I know we're talking about heavy stuff, but I try to keep it a little light over here sometimes. But everything is not a laughing matter. And if I ever offend anyone, I want to say that in this video, if I ever offend anyone, don't be afraid to let me know down in the comment section, because I never intend to offend anyone with the reactions that I create and with the opinions that I share. I know we cannot please everybody. Everybody's not going to be in favor of what I'm saying. Everybody's not going to agree with what I'm saying. And that's why I say drop it down in the comments what you think so that we can talk about it, because I like to talk, not tussle. If you like videos like this and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Run it up was up. Your bitch gon' not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Run it up was up. Your bitch gon' not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. What it do? It's your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, what up y'all? We are back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to a TikTok series. It's not too long of a series. It's about a woman who says she was married for 75 days and then asked for a divorce. 75 days. So that's like what, 2.5 months? I wonder what happened. I wonder what was so bad. We're about to find out right now. Y'all drop down in the comments if you've been married and had a quick divorce. How long were you guys married and what was the reason behind filing them papers, all right? Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you mess with me like I mess with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
75 days before I filed for a divorce. I've told this story before, but so many women ask me, so I'll tell the story again. And let me preface this by saying, before y'all jump in the comment section talking about God, this and that and the third, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I was married for long enough to see what I needed to see, and I dipped. I don't feel no type of way about it. I got in and I got out. It's something that I would never do again, and it just is what it is. Okay. So part one, so I'll start this out by saying we did not know each other very long. We knew of each other for a long time, but we did not know each other for a long time. And at the time when he asked me to marry him, I kind of was in a space where I was like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. I'll do it. Like, and that's the honest truth, y'all. Like, that's just
like,
the
I'll
honest
do it?
truth. So me and him, or he and I went to the same college. So we were in college at kind of at the same time because he's 4 years older than me.
Okay.
So he was like kind of on his way out when I was on my way in. But because we're both from the same state, we knew some of the same people who ran in some of the same circles. And if you go to an HBCU, then you know that a lot of people know a lot of people, especially, you know, if you're involved in campus and just by, you know, going to parties and things and clubs and just whatever.
Right.
So we kind of like knew of each other, if you so to speak, not a lot, but like kind of like in passing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But we were connected because we knew the same people. And I didn't know it until after the fact. But he had been watching me for quite some time online and crushing on me for quite some time online. And I didn't know. But he ends up sliding in my DM. Well, let me go back. He would always comment on my post, you know, and so him commenting on my post, you know, initially I would start out, thank you, you know, whatever, not super impressed, but he was pretty persistent with that. And so then the comments led to him basically sliding in my DMs. Like, you know, we went to the same college, just striking up normal conversation of, you know, people who went to a HBCU. We're from Florida. We have that in common. So that's kind of how the conversation started.
All right. I was trying to figure out, because I'm sitting here thinking in my head like, is she an auntie or a cousin? And I say that because she looks a little older. She looks good for whatever her age is, but she does look a little older. She doesn't look like she's my age. Y'all let me know. Do we look the same age? I don't know. She looks a little older. And I'm just thinking like, college? What type of social media was he following in college? But she clears it up. So basically, they went to college together. They seen each other around campus. Maybe, maybe not. And when social media became a thing, he followed her. And then, you know, they kind of had that in common, HBCU and yada, yada, yada. And that's what sparked up their conversation. Because I'm just like, what social media was she on?
And then he asked me after the conversation, in the DMs, can we exchange numbers? And so we exchanged numbers and started texting, you know, back and forth. And it didn't take him long. He asked me on a date, which hindsight is 2020. He said, maybe we can meet up for coffee or tea. And I should have left his ass where he had me up at. But what I did say was, I don't meet men for coffee dates. So I'm not getting in my car to go on no coffee date. It's not happening. And he quickly corrected himself. Like, he didn't get offended by it or anything. And he was just like, oh, okay. So, how about we meet for dinner? And so he started, giving me some options to choose from, because he was asking me like what I like and what I want to eat. So he was very much a planner. Like, he had no problem planning. He had no problem like taking me where I want to go. He had no problem with if I said I don't like that, I don't want to do that. He didn't get offended. He was just like, basically like, it's whatever. It's your world. I like you. I want to spend time with you. So it doesn't matter to me.
No, that's right.
Where we go. So long story short, we end up selecting the place for our first date or whatever. So he picked the place. I chose to drive to meet him to the place because I didn't want him to know where I live and all that good stuff.
Okay.
And so this place that we met at just happened to have crazy parking. So it took me, when I got to the location, it took me a while to figure out where to park, which caused me to be late, which also caused me to be a little bit flustered because of not knowing where to park. And so I was communicating with him that I was late and I was flustered, and I'm just at the point where I'm just about ready to turn around. So he was basically like, no, don't do that. Where are you? I will basically come and find you, or I'll walk you through the process on where you need to go so that you can park. It's okay. Don't worry. And that's what he did. And so I found the parking spot or whatever, and we met up at the restaurant. And he basically was like, whatever you want. So I ordered a drink. I ordered an appetizer. The conversation started to flow. He was dressed really nice. He was cool. Like, he was nice. It was cool. The conversation flowed. He knew how to hold a conversation and all of that. And we was laughing and whatever. And so the day ends. He walks me to my car. He pays for the parking, and he also sends me gas money for me having to drive. And he's basically like, okay, text me when you get home. So doing everything right. So cool, whatever. So that was the first date. So of course, that was good. We go on a couple more dates. We're communicating, we're talking, whatever. So after a while, he was like, I got food, you should come over. And I'm like, cool. I'm cool at this point. You ain't coming to me. I don't mind coming to you. That's cool, whatever. So I go to his place, which was quite a bit of a distance, but I didn't mind because he was just like, I got you with, your gas money, whatever you need, whatever, I got you. And he was that type of person. Like, whenever I drove, or he would just randomly cash out me. He would always pay for my gas, make sure I always had gas in my car, all of that good stuff. So I didn't mind driving there because I'd rather go to his house than him come to mine. And so I got there, and he had flowers, he had candles burning, the house was exceptionally clean, and he had food. So it was cool. Like, we were watching a movie and eating and talking, and he started playing music. And we had an amazing time.
Okay.
I didn't spend the night because I'd be ready to go home. So I went, night came to an end. I drove back home, and I'm the type of person, I don't care what time it is. When I'm ready to go home, I'm going home, because I don't care if it's dark. I'm going home. And he was kind of like, it's dark outside. Like, it's kind of a distance. You want to drive? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. So I went home. Things were cool. We dated more, and boom, he was basically like, I ain't never met a woman like you. We have so much in common. Like, we're on the same page. Like, I really like you. Like, I really do. And so he was like, how you feel about like us getting married? Like, I would marry you. So I guess he was trying to like gauge how I was feeling. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't never been a woman that has been like, oh my God, a man, I got my wedding planned out. I got my colors planned out. I've never been that type of woman. And he is not the first man to want to marry me. I've been proposed to 3 times by my son's dad, and I've been proposed to by 3 other men that I have turned down marriage proposals. So him wanting to marry me is nothing new. And I can honestly say most of the men that I have dated have wanted to marry me. That's just has always been my experience in adulthood.
Okay.
And I will say he just
Clock it.
caught me at a time and a space where I was just like, okay.
Who cares?
And I know that sounds crazy,
It
y'all,
does.
but I didn't take it as that big of a deal. For me, it kind of was like something to check off the list to say that I've done it. I know that sounds bad, y'all, but it's the truth. And I didn't look at it from like a what you call this religious aspect. I was just looking at it like it's something to check off the deal. This man is a lawyer. This man got his stuff together. Okay, I don't really mind. So yeah, sure, whatever.
Why not?
I turned down the other proposals because I never saw myself as a married woman, and I never saw marriage as an accomplishment. I wasn't one of those girls who dreamed about her wedding or anything like that. So me being married in my 20s was never a goal of mine, and I always looked at it like it would be something that was in the way. Like I was focused on my education in my 20s. I did have my son in my 20s, late 20s, but that's neither here nor there. But I just knew that getting married would stifle me. With my son's dad, I had outgrown him. He was jealous of me. I knew that wasn't going to work. The other guys, I just, again, didn't want to. I didn't view them as husband material. And so I just never went through with it. Even though they asked me, I was just like, marriage is probably something that I would do later down the line in life after I've done everything else. So I turned down the other part 2. I asked for a divorce after being married for only 75 days. So to pick up where I left off, we were great. Everything was going great. We were dating. We were having a good time. We were getting to know one another. And one day I was at his house. We just chit-chatting it up. And he was like, I really see myself marrying you. And I was like, oh, you do? And he was like, yeah, I'm for real. Like, I really do see you as being my wife. So I didn't take it as serious as he was saying it. So I was kind of like, yeah, okay. Laughing or whatever. So he was like, nah, I'm serious. Like, I want you to be my wife. We should go get married.
How long has it been?
I was like, okay. Still not really taking it serious and not thinking that it's something that he wanted to do at that time. I thought like he meant like down the line or whatever. But he was like, nah, we should go get married. I'm going to go get you a ring. We should get married. So I called my sister. I told my sister, like, this man's serious about getting married. And so we laugh. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so we're laughing because she had already met him. So she had already been around him or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to do it. And the way that my sister and I are, we got each other backs no matter what. Because at the end of the day, we know, like, whatever it is, I'm gonna help you get out of it. You gonna get out of it either way it goes. And that's just the truth. It wasn't that deep, y'all. I didn't approach
It was just something to do.
Marriage from a religious standpoint. I didn't approach it from a love standpoint. Marriage is not about religion. Marriage has nothing to do with that. Marriage has nothing to do with love. Marriage is a business contract. It's a business deal. So the same thing as if you were going into a business partnership with someone and the terms and conditions of that contract were not met and you sever your business ties, that's the same way I looked at marriage. And that's just the truth. So
Hold on.
he was like,
Hold
yeah,
on,
we
young
should go
C.
get...
Y'all think about marriage that way? How many of y'all, my viewers / subscribers, look at marriage from a business standpoint? Business, huh? I personally never thought about it like it makes sense what she's saying. I never thought about it like that. Doesn't look at it from a religious standpoint. A business contract. That's new. I'm looking at her comments and they are eating Auntie up. Why they so mad at Auntie for believing in marriage the way she believe in it? Somebody said marriage was instituted by God himself, so it's very much religious. She said God is a woman. And secondly, how do you know marriage was instituted by God? Lord, oh, they going in. Marriage is not a business contract. Marriage should be built on love and commitment. That's how I look at love and commitment. Sis, did you ever love the man? No. She said no, y'all. Someone said not judging, but both of y'all were real nonchalant about marriage. Marriage ain't a casual thing to do, especially for people who have assets at risk. Looking forward to part 3. She said it was casual at that time for me. I got in and I got out, so all is well. Someone said this is your story. How are people upset about your story? She said this happened years ago. I've been in a whole relationship after that and could have been married again. Oop. I know that's right. Oh, wow. So marriage is a business now? I'm baffled. That's crazy. What y'all think about it? Is marriage a business or is marriage love and commitment? She didn't love the man. She said she didn't love the man. And the way she explained her conversation with her sister, it pretty much was just I'm just finna do it. It's almost like walking in the store and buying a pair of shoes. It's just like, oh, well, I like them. I'm just going to get them. And no thought about it, whatever. I don't care what the price is. Let's just do it. Let's just see how it works. And if I don't like them when I get home, I'll bring them back tomorrow. That's kind of how it seems here. Let me know y'all thoughts.
Mary, let's set a date. So we set the date or whatever, which was days later. And so I was at his house, so I went back to my house. And so I started to prep and prepare for the date. So I, went and got my nails done, went and found a dress, went and found something to wear. And I'm just like, kind of nervous, but at the same time, I'm just like,
whatever.
I'm just going to do it. What do I have to lose? Because in my mind, we're not about to combine assets. We don't have children together. I live over here. He lives over here. Maybe eventually, once I see, then things will be okay enough for me to feel comfortable enough to talk about that. But as of right now, it's not that deep. And I'm just being honest. And so I went and got my nails done, got my hair done, got me a dress, did all of that. And so my sister and I are talking the whole time. I think I called my cousin too. And my cousin and I are the same. We have the same type of relationship that I have with my sister. So it's kind of like, girl, go ahead. You ain't got nothing to lose. That's just how we are. And so the day of, so I get dressed, I go back to his house because we're going to go from his house to the courthouse to get married. So we get to the courthouse and it's closed. And we're like, okay, why is the courthouse closed? Come to find out it was like George Washington's birthday or something crazy that we never even thought about.
Okay.
Red flag number 1. That should have told me not to keep going. So we decided to...
Well, I don't think that there should be any red flags in getting married in her situation because her reasoning behind getting married is a red flag. Well, I guess I can't say that. That's her, reasoning. But I'm just like, if you get married just to, knock it off the bucket list, just to say you did it. You don't love this man. Y'all not trying to build nothing together. You already said y'all not having kids. Y'all not combining no assets and nothing like that. So showing up to the courthouse and it being closed, being your first red flag, that's kind of off to me. I would have just thought it would just been a giddy moment, like, oop, it's closed. Try again tomorrow. Like, the marriage is so unserious at this point, right? To where it's like, it really doesn't matter if the courthouse is open or closed. Was that really a red flag? What y'all think?
Go out to eat, talk, have a good time, reset the date. So I believe we set the date a couple of days later. So I was like, all right, cool. So the day of, we go to the courthouse. We get dressed that morning. We talk about it. We go to the courthouse. So as we're entering in the courthouse, it's cold. It's December. So it's freezing outside. And so I have on these boots that come up like above my knee, underneath my dress or whatever.
Okay.
And so when we get to the metal detectors, they're like, you got to take those boots off. You can't come through here with boots on because we got to be able to see what's in your boots. So it kind of made me, I'm like, red flag number 2. So I had to take my boots off so that I could walk through the metal detector. I also had some lotion in my handbag, and they said that the lotion bottle was too big to bring inside, so I could either walk it back to the car, have him walk it back to the car, or I could just throw it away. And I was just like, whatever, throw it away. So we get through the metal detector. We hold hands. They tell us what floor to go up on. So we go up on the floor to the where you get the marriage license, and we have to sign in or whatever. And so she gives us the form, and so he's filling out his portion of the form, then he hands it to me. I'm filling out my portion of the form, and I'm just in my head like, damn, I'm really doing this. Still just going with the flow, like just going with the flow. And so we fill it out. The lady verifies our ID. Then we have to go back to the another room where the lady reads through the form and confirms that I'm who I say I am, he's who he says he is, and we are not currently married to anybody else. And so she gets to the part of the form where she's like, how do you want to take his last name? Do you want to hyphenate do you want to hyphenate it? How would you like for it to be? And so I was like, hyphenated or whatever. And so he kind of looked at me, but I didn't care. So I was like, hyphenated. So she was like, okay, we'll hyphenate and we'll put his last name on the end of yours. So we continue to go. We go through all that. She signs it off. She gives us this paper and tells us that we have to mail it off in order for it to be effective. So we're going to have to put it in the mail. They're going to have to stamp it. The judge has to stamp it, send it back after we get it officiated. So we're like, all right, cool. So he calls one of his favorite pastors and was like, we just got a marriage license. I would like for you to marry us. And so the pastor and his wife was like, oh my God, okay, cool. Like, we'll do it. So we go get something to eat after we leave the courthouse because we're hungry. And the pastor was like, it was going to take him a couple of hours to meet us to get it officiated. So he's calling everybody, telling everybody in his family, which we had talked about that we were not going to make an announcement until later. And for me, I wasn't going to tell nobody but my sister and my cousin because I just ain't want to put people in my business like that. So I didn't want to make no grand announcement. And for me, again, marriage was not a big deal in that sense because we were not connecting our lives right away. So I knew I needed time to see. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So we talk about that and we're like, we're not going to make a big announcement. The minute he get a chance, he calling his sisters, he calling his cousins, he calling his friends. Oh, I just got married. And everybody like, oh, you married her? She, she's pretty. You got a good wife, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, damn, he just telling everybody. Whole time, I'm just telling my sister and my cousin, and we texting back and forth, basically laughing about it. And so we go get something to eat, and then we meet the pastor for him to officiate. So before the pastor officiates, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom. The pastor's wife comes into the bathroom. So she's like, you're gorgeous. It's the day that you're getting married. We've been married for 30 years. Basically, giving me advice, how they've had ups and downs, how there's going to be really hard times, but there's also going to be good times, and how you got to put your marriage first and keep people out your business and don't tell people what's going on. Just the whole spiel. And she'd have been married to this man for 30-something years. So I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm like, all right. So we go out there. The pastor starts to officiate. And I'm just standing there the whole time. Basically in a daze almost. I was just not even there, honestly. And so it goes through the vows or whatever. We say, I do. He has officiated the damn marriage.
Part 3, I asked for a divorce after being married for 75 days. So once we got it officiated by the pastor, we went out to a fancy dinner. So he had made reservations at this place. Very, very nice. He was very, very good at making reservations to awesome places, awesome. He was amazing with picking out that. So it was a very nice restaurant. We went, we ate, we drank, whatever. He was still excited. He was calling more people, telling more people, what we had done. I did not call anybody and tell anybody anything. After dinner, we went to like the liquor store to get some wine and champagne to continue celebrating. Went back to his house or whatever. Everything was cool. So the next morning while at his house, he was like, well, where would you like to go on our honeymoon? Because he's a traveler. He likes to travel. But the time that we got married and the time that I had to go back to work and like get my kid and everything, it was a short amount of time. And so we decided on where we were going to go for the honeymoon. He literally planned everything out. I didn't have to say anything or any of that. He planned the entire trip, the flight. He made the reservations. He did all of that. So about a week later, we went on our honeymoon. He booked the room. Top-notch room, top floor vibes. Told the lady that we had just got married. Everything was nice. We were going out. We were hanging out. We was going shopping. We were eating good. We were having a ball. Like, my honeymoon was a ball. And it just so happened that it was New Year's. So our honeymoon coupled with New Year's, it just made it fun. Like, we had a ball. We was supposed to stay, I think, for 3 days initially, but we ended up extending it like a couple more days just to kind of relax before we got back to like gearing up and get ready for the new year, get ready for work. We did this thing where we kind of like planned for the new year. He likes to plan out his year. And so we kind of did like a brainstorming session to kind of plan things out individually and kind of together as well. And so we did that and we ended up coming back home. And when we got back, I told y'all that we did not live together. So he basically went to his house. I went to mine to kind of, get things back to normal. So we were just being normal, talking on the phone. He was at his house working, doing his thing. I'm at my house working, doing my thing. We would see each other probably like every 3 to 4 days, but a lot on the weekends because that was like when we both had time because I was working, he was working or whatever. So, worked out fine. So here's where it starts to twist.
Okay,
so
that's what we waited
on. I told
on.
y'all he was a lawyer. So he's the kind of guy that he is very likes to be involved in the community. He likes to be in certain social circles. He likes to be on the scene of things, political events, all kind of things. He's a lawyer. The problem is he also wanted me to be that type of person.
And that ain't your shindig.
And I'm not that type of woman. Like, I have my own motion. I have my own things going on. So he would be like, I have an event that we're going to go to Thursday at 6:00. And I'm like, who is we? You ain't telling me about this. Like, tomorrow's Thursday. Like, how can you assume that I'm available to do that? Like, I'm a very structured, routine person. Like, I work, I do my business, but I like to be like home. I'm a homebody, but I'll also travel. I'll also get out. But you're not about to catch me out at events several times a week. That's just not who I am. Like, I'd rather do what I got to do for work out, and then get in my bed with some wine and read a good book. That's just the type of woman that I am. He's, on the other hand, he likes to be out at all the events. And so I started to notice a pattern of that where he would say he had this event to go to and with the expectation that I would be on his arm at these events. Mind y'all, I look good on his arm. We look good together on paper with my career background, with us going to the same HBCU, with my looks, all of that. I looked good on his arm on paper. Like, my resume is impeccable. So if he's out in these social circles, if he's out in these political circles, I can hold my own. When conversations come up and they ask me what do I do, or my career path, all of that, my resume speaks for itself. So I fit the bill for him. I look good on his arm.
Okay.
But he just started to do that, like volunteer my time. So there was this one particular incident where, okay, so that was that. So I'll stop there at that part. So one day I was at his house. And, typical us being in his house. When I got to his house was absolutely disgusting. If y'all remember in part one, when I told y'all when I first went to his house, it was very clean. He had the candles burning. It smelled good. Everything was good. I went to his house, y'all. I hadn't been to his house in about a week.
Okay.
It was an absolute mess. Hold on, y'all.
Whole 360?
My son need this. Okay, I'm back. So his house was an absolute mess. I'm talking about food all over the place, McDonald's containers, everything he ate for that week, all over the floor, the trash can running over. It smelled like trash in there. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on in here? And he was like, well, I knew you was coming. I was busy this week. And, I got a wife now. And so, like, my wife will make sure everything's straight too. Nigga, I don't live
What?
here. I got my own house. So you're expecting me to be a maid. I was cool. What I said was, we gonna have to tidy this up together, because if you want me to come.
Sir, y'all live separate. That means the mess in your home is your mess. That's not y'all mess. That's not her mess. And even if y'all did live together, your mess is still not her mess. Now, there may be areas of the house where, the wife take care of, like the kitchen or maybe the bathrooms, maybe the laundry room. But if you have a personal space, just say a man cave, a game room, do y'all expect y'all partner to go clean up y'all personal mess? Like if me and my wife chilling in the living room, we having movie night. I got snacks, she got snacks. I got food, she got food. I got something to drink, she got something to drink. So we got cups and we got, wrappers from candy and chips and all of this stuff, right? And then we decide, we just pass out during the movie. We sleep. Wake up in the middle of the night. Hey, babe, come on, let's get in the bed. We go get in the bed. And then we wake up the next morning and just say, I go straight, to the living room. And I'm like, we left this a mess last night. We didn't even, pick up our stuff. That would be wrong for me to pick up my bag of chips, my beef jerky wrapper, and not pick up hers. We collectively made this mess together. We had a little date night. So in that case, yes, if I decided to clean up everything or she decided to clean up everything, that's okay in my opinion. Or maybe, like I said, the kitchen, like, we eat together, but I also had a bowl of cereal. I also used the plate to warm up some leftovers. Rinse off my plate, put it in the sink. Whenever or if ever my wife decides to clean the kitchen or I decide to clean the kitchen and it's time to load the dishwasher, it would be wrong for you to just load the dishes that only you use. I mean, you're cleaning the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? Like, those are like common areas. It's like, okay, I'll do it sometimes, you do it sometimes, we flip flop. You cook dinner, I clean up after, or, whatever. But now when it comes to your personal space, you got a game room or a man cave. I'm not expecting my wife to come into my office and vacuum my floor. If she does, thank you. Even if my wife was vacuuming our bedroom, our living room don't have any carpet, but our bedroom, if she's cleaning up our bedroom and closet area and bathroom, I'm not going to say, while you got that out, go and hit mine too. This is my office. This is my space. This is my responsibility. So how dare this man think that this woman is supposed to come to his house? She does not live there at all. She don't even spend a night, don't sound like. And that man said, my wife got it? Boy, bye. Goodbye.
Over here, I ain't finna sit over here in no nasty house. So we gonna have to tidy this up, and we gonna have to talk about you getting you a housekeeper, because that ain't me. So we tidied up the house or whatever and got some food or whatever, and I ended up spending the night. The next morning, he said he had this event that he needed to go to. I didn't want to go to the event with him, so I stayed at his house. I had my Apple Watch, and I forgot my charger at home. So I went to look for his Apple Watch charger, took his Apple Watch off the charger, and as I'm taking his Apple Watch off the charger, a whole slew of text messages populate. So, I'm a woman, I'm a look. It's in my hand, so I put my watch on the charger. So I'm looking through the watch. He texting all these women. Ain't never stopped. This man got a whole girlfriend. Well, she thinks she is girlfriend. When I say that phone was full of women, so I'm just scrolling. Taking pictures with my phone, because I know he don't lie. I know he's going to deny it, all of that. So I'm just taking pictures, looking through all of it. And it's not one woman. It's like this is a couple years ago, y'all. So probably like 5 or 6 women in his phone. Like, yeah, like, and they had been like, so when I'm at my house and he at his house, he doing God knows what. Now, mind y'all, I wasn't talking to no other men. So even though I initially went into the situation, stop it. Stop. Talking to my dog. Even though I initially went into the situation not taking it serious, I never cheated. Like, I did do what I was supposed to do. But he was. Part 3, Okay, so part 4 on me asking for a divorce after being married for only 75 days. And I need to go back because, again, this happened years ago. So as I'm telling the story, more and more things are coming back to mind. And I'm the type of person, when I'm over something, I like push it out of my memory. So if it comes back and I'm talking about it, things start to come up. So before I looked in the Apple Watch and found out that he was texting 5 different women. Okay, so I needed to go out of town to my family's house in Florida. And so my sister and I were going to go. And I told him that I would be out of town for the weekend or whatever. He begged me to go with me out of town. I had no intentions on him going out of town with me because I had not yet told anybody other than my sister and my cousin that I was married. But I knew that if I took this man to my favorite aunt and uncle's house, that he was going to be running his mouth telling them, oh, she's my wife. And then my uncle and my auntie was going to be looking at me like, who married? I know she ain't married. No, she not. No, that ain't your wife. So in order to not catch them off guard, because I know how they are. Now, my family is very cool. They're very welcoming. You can come in, they're going to cook on the grill, they're going to have music playing. It's going to be a grand old time. That's just the type of family that I have. But they also know who I am. Like, they know how I am. It's been like a running joke in the family that I'm never going to get married and I'm never going to have a husband because, again, I moved to the beat of my own drum. I've always been like that since I was a little girl. So I called my auntie and my uncle and I was like, I'm coming to town and I got to tell y'all something. And they was like, what? And I was like, I got married. And they was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Like, they did not believe me. And I was like, I did. And he's coming with me. So y'all will get to meet him. Because he just was so adamant about coming with me. So I had to call them and let them know ahead of time so that they would not be caught off guard. And I'm telling my sister, damn, I did not want to have to tell them that. But he talked so much, he gonna tell them that we married and they gonna be looking crazy. So we get in the car. He drives to meet my family. So we get there. I got a couple of family members there and they're just talking like, you're married and all this, that, and the third. So me and my auntie step off to the side. And she was like, you marry him? But the way that she said, again, we have a great relationship. So we were giggling, laughing because they just couldn't believe that I just randomly up and one day got married. So my auntie was telling me the story about her first husband and how your first husband sometimes is your plot husband, practice husband. It don't really...
It don't matter.
It might not always, you might not stay married to that first husband, in other words, because a lot of y'all don't understand like humor and things like that. But she was basically saying, okay, it seems like he was just doing something, but okay, we gonna roll with the punches. So long story short, we had a great time visiting my family, and then it was coming up on my birthday. So my birthday is in January. So he planned out my whole entire birthday. Like, he had like 4 days planned for my birthday. So we went to dinner in the city the day of my birthday because it was a weekday. So we went to dinner. We did all of this. So the weekend, he had this whole, weekend planned for us. We went out of town. And everything. Like, when I say I didn't have to worry about anything, I didn't have to worry about anything. When I walked in the hotel, they had wine and champagne waiting for me. They had this sign.
The whole staff was like, happy birthday. Like, it was, he was great with it. I told y'all he's a great planner. So he did really nice. But I was sick. I had got COVID. I didn't know it was COVID at the time, but I just was not feeling well at all. So we get to the hotel, we check in, and we go in the room, and he's like, I got his dinner reservations planned. I was so sick, y'all. Like, I was so sick. We couldn't even go to dinner. I was like, can we just order like some soup or something? And, I just lay back and just relax and get some rest. I'm going to take some medicine, and hopefully in the morning I'll be feeling better. So he did. He made sure I had, what I needed because I wasn't feeling good. We stayed in a room and we chilled in a room. Part 5, I asked for a divorce after being married for 75 days. So back to the Apple Watch and the text messages. So one of the women, which I assumed at the time was his girlfriend, called and it rung through the Apple Watch. He was not home. And so I'm calling my sister, texting my sister to tell my sister what's going on in the Apple Watch, sending her the pictures and the screenshots and all that good stuff. So she calls the Apple Watch again, and I pick up. So I'm like, hello? And she kind of paused for a second because she wasn't expecting a woman to answer the Apple Watch. So I answered it, and I was like, I basically can't hear you through this watch. So I'm just going to call you back on my phone. Private, so she wouldn't have my phone number. Now, the whole point in me calling her back was because I was like, this is my out. This is my opportunity. This is my way for me to get out of this situation. In the event that I want to get out of this situation, because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of felt like, damn, you don't want to got married. Are you sure this is the lifestyle that you want to live? So it was like, the more information that I have, the easier it's going to be for me to get out of this marriage, because we know one thing for certain: adultery is cause for a divorce. I haven't cheated. I haven't done that. He had. If he in fact has, which it shows in these messages, let me talk to this lady and see what's going on. So I talked to her. Very nice. We had a very calm conversation. She basically said that they had been dating for quite some time. She was dating him before I was. So they were dating a long time. He knew her way before he knew me. And so I was like, well, did he tell you that he was married? And she was like, no, I didn't know nothing about it. She was very apologetic. She was basically like, I've been married before, and my husband cheated, and I would never do that to another woman. I had no idea that he had all of this going on. It was just a very good conversation. And so I ended up getting off the phone with her. And so then he comes back to his house. So when he comes back to the house, I was like, well, who is such and such? And so he looked at me like, how do you know that? And I was like, so you in a whole relationship? You got a whole girlfriend going on? And so I said her name, and he was like, that's not my girlfriend. Yeah, I knew her before you. Yeah, I had to tie up some loose ends, but it's not like that. And so I was like, I knew he was going to lie. That's why I have all of that. And he was like, how did you find this information out? I was like, your Apple Watch. You left your Apple Watch. I went to use your charger, and I got all of the information that I needed. So we basically kind of like went back and forth about it, because he was like, I'm not doing nothing. Mind y'all, I just needed the information because I knew I was going to get up out of this situation. So the more information that I had, the better. So we go back and forth for a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I'm finna go home. So I get the stuff that I have at his house, and I go home. Whole time, he calling me. So we didn't talk for a couple of days. And so he finally reached out, and he was like, I just want to talk to you about this situation. And I'm like, okay, what's up? And so he was, basically like, I was wrong in that situation. Again, I was trying to tie up some loose ends. You're my wife. I really want to make like this marriage work. Cause I'm like, I was like, that was unfair to that lady. Like, if you was with that lady, you was in a relationship with that lady like that, why wouldn't you marry her? You knew this lady before you knew me. Why would you not marry her? And he was basically like, well, I didn't want to marry her. She didn't fit
my idea of a wife. He was like, I had a very specific idea of the type of woman that I wanted to marry, and she didn't fit that. She was cool for what she was cool for, but it wasn't that. We had a lot of fun, and not to go too deep in a business, but they were wild. Let me just say that. Definitely something I would not have participated in. And so he was like, can you meet me for food and dinner, and we can talk about it. So I waited like a few days, maybe a week or more. So maybe a week. So I was like, okay. So we met. Again, I already know in my mind what I'm gonna do, but it's fine, whatever. We can meet and try to talk about it. So we meet, we talk, it's whatever. I go home. So he was getting this was around Valentine's Day. So this is like February. So he was like, I need to go visit some family members out of town, and I would like for you to come with me. So he called me back and was basically like, the kids were gonna go, his kids, because he had kids, but they didn't live with him. They lived in a different state. That they were gonna go with him to the family member's house out of town, and that he would like for me to join them. During this time, I just got a new job offer. So I'm doing all of my paperwork for my job. Mind you, he wants me to go with him to meet some more of his family and to pretend like everything is good and to pretend like everything is happy and to just be fake. And I was just like, I'm not doing that. So so he booked the flight. He booked their 3 tickets, and he was like, I'm going to book the ticket for you or whatever. And so I was like, nah, don't do that. I need to see what's going on with the job. Once I figure out if I have to be in town or what I need to do for this job, then I will let you know, and I could come, whatever, at a later time. He books the flight, I think, for me anyway. I think he did, or something like that. Again, this was a while ago. So I said, I told you, I'll come when I can. I need to see what's going on with the job. That pissed him off. That made him mad. And he was basically like, you don't want to meet my family. You don't want to support me. I feel like because my kids are coming, you don't want to do all of that and be around us as a family and blah, 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 which...
How old is his kids?
Not the kids didn't have anything to do with it. It was just, I knew this wasn't going nowhere. So he ends up going. So the whole time he's going, we follow each other on social media. So the whole time he's there, he's taking shots at me. Basically subliminal posts for me, at me online. And so I sent him a message, and I was like, you talk about me online or whatever. He didn't respond to the message. So I knew that he was pissed off. I was like, oh, wow. So the whole time he was out of town, I did not talk to him. We did not talk. So I was looking at the pictures that they were taking online. So long story short, I did not go, which pissed him off. So they got back. He was like, you really upset me. He called me. He was basically like, you really upset me by not coming out of town with me. I know, it's been a little rocky, but you are my wife, and I would like to, try and see what we could do to make, this situation work or whatever. And so we met up again just to talk about it. And he was like, we should meet. You should meet the kids so we could talk to the kids and then, go for it like that. So we went out to eat. We didn't really tell the kids what was going on because I just wasn't going to tell the kids that. I didn't want to do that. So he does what he does again, and he has this upcoming event or something. Mm-hmm. He tells whoever that he's talking to that him and his wife will be at the event. Mind y'all, we not even setting horses. We not even on good terms. So he calls me and was like, we have an event to go to tomorrow at such and such and such. And I said, who is we? I said, I'm not going to no events with you. I'm not pretending. I'm not finna put on clothes and be smiling like everything is good. I'm not doing that.
again, he gets pissed off. And he was like, you don't never want to go to events. And I'm like, you're just going to events because you just want to be all over the place. When you really need to sit down and you really need to focus on what you really got going on. You just all over the place. You don't have to be, your face don't have to be in the place at every damn event that's going on. So we kind of went back and forth like that, and it pissed him off. And he was saying something, and I hung the phone up on him.
Okay.
Part
Last
6,
part,
I
I
wanted a
think.
divorce after being married only 75 days. So I hung the phone up on him. He sends me a series basically saying that I'm not a good wife. I'm not the type of wife that he should have married. Basically, he wanted a woman who would be overly religious, because if y'all know, those overly religious women be letting their husbands do whatever and they forgive them under the
Yep.
guise of God and this,
Yep.
that, and the third. That's what he wanted. That ain't me. He took me being spiritual as me being religious. No, baby. Those are two different things. I'm not a doormat. You're not going to walk all over me. I'm not your maid. I'm not going to be at your every beck and call. I got my own motion. That's
Right.
basically what we were saying back and forth. And I was just telling him, like, you not who you say you are. You going to all these events and you not that nigga, basically. So it was like a back and forth. And then I said, and make sure you don't come my way. Don't come to my house or none of that. No more. Like, don't come over here, and you ain't got to worry about me coming over there. So then I sent an email, maybe like a day later. And I was like, as a matter of fact, we could go ahead and dead this right now. Drop those divorce papers so we can get this process started. Now, I asked him to drop the divorce papers because he is a lawyer. So in my mind, this is that we don't have to spend no money on getting no divorce. It ain't got to be all that. He, I guess at the time, was beating his chest and had done been talking to God knows what lady or whatever. So he was like, all right, cool, bet. So I was like, bet. So draw that shit up and make sure you get that shit over to me. And again, he's the lawyer. So in my mind, why spend money on attorneys to file for a divorce when he's a lawyer? We don't have no assets together. We don't have no children together. We don't live together. There's nothing we're not tied to each other. So us divorcing would change nothing about my life. My life is gonna stay the same. So it took him maybe like a week or so to finally send the paperwork. And so he sends the paperwork, and I'm looking over the paperwork. And so when it asked the reason for the divorce, he put irreconcilable differences. And I said, I emailed him back, and I was like, nah, you should put adultery on there. Like, and that pissed him off. But I ain't really care. I was just saying, like, I mean, that's what you should put on there. But whatever. So then he emailed me back. He was basically like, well, we're going to have to meet because we have to get it notarized when we both sign it, blah, blah, blah. So tell me where you would like to meet and basically when you are available. So we agreed on a date and a time. So we met up. Not met up, but we arrived at the place that we agreed to get the divorce papers notarized. So he got there before me. And so as I'm walking in, there's a guy basically coming out of the bank. And the guy coming out of the bank was basically trying to like talk to me or whatever. And he's sitting there in the lobby fuming, looking crazy. And I'm just like giggling on the inside. He don't speak to me. He don't do nothing. He just sitting there like he got an attitude. And I'm just like, la, looking good, smelling good, feeling good. And I'm just like, la, 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 la. So I sign in or whatever. So he's sitting over here. So I sit like completely opposite of him. We don't speak. We don't talk. We don't say nothing. So the lady calls us back to go over the paperwork and to do the whole notary thing. So he hurry up. She slides the paper. He hurry up and grabs the paper, signs the paper real quick.
Petty.
So then I sign it. And so she was basically like, that's it. So he hurries up and gets up and just hurries up and leave out of the place. And I'm just like laughing. And so I call my sister, I call my uncle and my auntie to, just basically tell them about it, like about the divorce and all of that. So we're laughing or whatever. So I was like, he emailed me and was like, I'm gonna file it with the courts. You should get served, all this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, him filing made him the petitioner, which made me the respondent.
which made it seem as though he was divorcing me.
you.
And so my sister was like, you cool with that? And I was like, I don't care. As long as I get out of this shit and as long as I don't got to spend no money, I don't care. I don't care. I just want out. I do not care. So he files it. I get notification that he files it. And so I contact the court. They tell me, you know, the process is going to take a few days, blah, 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 blah. I start my new job. I'm busy and I'm like, damn, you know, time going by. It's done been a month. So I called the court and she was like, did you get filed? Did you get served? I'm like, I never got served. Nobody came to serve me. So she was like, okay, let me, you know, look through the paperwork, whatever. So I get notification that the paperwork was filled out incorrect. And because
From a lawyer?
I was never served, that the divorce process was not in effect. It would have to basically be refiled. We would have to.
The lawyer
So,
filed it wrong?
but during this process, it was a couple of months, y'all. Actually, it was a couple of months. Like it was a couple of months because I was giving the courts time or whatever. So it did linger. But during these months, we did not have any communication. And in the paperwork, it said like once this is filed, you guys can basically act as single people. So again, we didn't have anything together. There was no communication between us. It was over. It was done. So months like go by and I'm like, what's... So I tell him like, you filled out this, I sent him an email and I'm like, you filled the paperwork out and I believe you did that on purpose. So he doesn't respond for maybe a week or so. And then he responds back and was like, well, I'll refile it, blah, 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 blah. I said, I'm not going to leave it up to him this time. I'm just going to contact me an attorney and see what my options are. I had been looking up the annulment process. And from what I saw with getting an annulment, you have to have certain proof. You have to have certain documentation. And that process can end up being longer than the divorce process, especially if it's uncontested, which we both agree. We don't have kids together. We don't have assets together. We live separately. We don't have anything together. So when I did speak to the lawyer, I asked her about the annulment process. And she basically confirmed that. She was like, well, with an annulment, you just can't get an annulment just because it's a short period of time.
Okay.
You have to have certain documentation. You have to have certain proof. It's a process. Now, it's a process that we can look into if you feel like if he committed fraud, if you feel like, that type of thing. Or because it's uncontested, y'all don't have nothing together, just give me the $1,500. I'll file the paperwork, whatever. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do that because I want out of this. That's basically what I told her. Like, I want out and I want it done and I want it over with and I don't want to be attached to this man at all. I never changed my name, anything like that. Like, my last name never changed, any of that. So it was a very clean cut process, supposed to be. But he purposely did it wrong. So she does it and she's like, it's probably going to take about 30 days because there is a 30-day waiting process once we get the paperwork over to him and serve him and he signs everything. So she calls me back maybe like a week later and she was like, yeah, he called and he was asking questions about the divorce and I had to tell him that you're my client, not him. But he was trying to basically talk like attorney to attorney to see what's going on. But I just told him, you just have to sign, so what happened was I ended up being the petitioner and he ended up being the respondent because I had to go back and file the divorce properly. So she was basically like, it's going to be the 30-day waiting period. We waited 30 days. He signed everything. She called me. She said, I'm going to send you the paperwork over. The divorce is finalized.
All right, y'all. What y'all think about it? I wonder if this was a clean-cut guy and he wasn't a cheater or anything like that, if this could have flipped. Because she went into the marriage as a joke. Let's just be frank. She went into the marriage. It was a joke for her. They were only married 75 days. And it sounds to me like they got married after just a few months of dating. That's what it sounded like to me. She didn't give a timeline, so I can't be certain on that, but that's what it seemed like. I I could be wrong. Either way, how long do you guys think is long enough to go ahead and get married to someone that you're dating? I know a lot of people say like a man knows if a woman is his wife within a couple of months, like 6 months to a year. A man knows. You know, they be like, ladies, if you with somebody or with a guy longer than a year or two and he's not even talking about it, it's probably not going to happen. Do y'all believe that? Y'all let me know y'all experiences with that if you have any. But it's like almost as if she was looking for a way out before she even got in. You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like she was already plotting on how I'm going to get out of this marriage before the marriage even really started, because it was a joke. It seemed like a running joke between her and I believe she said her sister and her auntie. Like everybody's like kikiing about it. She didn't want to meet his family because she knew it's not going to last long. You know, she seen stuff in his Apple Watch and she was like, okay, I'm just not going to deal with that. She also didn't like being like the trophy wife. She didn't like just being on his arm at all these events. This was his thing. You know, to be involved in the community was his thing. It wasn't her thing. And I could understand that completely. Some people think that once you marry someone, your hobbies become their hobbies and vice versa. It's cool if y'all like the same thing. It's cool if y'all have the same hobbies, but to just morph into the other person, no. In a relationship, you got to be two individual people. Me and my wife enjoy a lot of things together, like a lot of things. And there's some things that I introduced her to that she grew to love and fall in love with also. But we also got our separate things. We're both creative. She likes to draw. Well, not draw. She likes to color, you know, more so. Coloring books, adult coloring book, big image coloring books, you know, whatever. I like to put together Lego sets. I don't dibble and dabble with her pens and markers, and she don't dibble and dabble and try to build my Lego. That's what we like to do separate. I like to do puzzles. Speaking of that, I need to get my puzzle board with that gift. Another topic for another day. But I have hobbies and things I like to do. She has things she likes to do. Totally different. I like to edit. I like to do videography. Me and my wife both like to plan events. We like to host. Those are things we like to do together. I like to create graphics. You know what I'm saying? So, and she never tried to force me into something she liked to do. And I never tried to force her into something that I like to do. We both like to play games, but just different ones. So for him to expect her to just tap into, oh, we're going to be outside and we're going to be in a community and this and this and that, I feel like that was wrong, because that's not her shindig. She wasn't into that. But like she mentioned, her auntie said your first husband, first marriage is like the trial and error. You learn what you learn. You figure out what you need to figure out so that if you decide to be a wife for someone else, you go into that marriage a little bit smarter. Hopefully, auntie that we just reacted to, she goes into her next marriage full of love and commitment. Okay? But that's all I got today. Look, comment your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. And if you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Run it up was up. That bitch gon' not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Run it up was up.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It is your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, y'all. There is this video going around, or should I say mini series, about this woman who was married for 27 years and caught her husband cheating in the Atlanta airport with the mistress. All right. I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you fuck with me like with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go. Now, y'all, this right here is just a video. It got copyright on it, and it says, now look at this of him cheating with his mistress. Just sitting there in the airport doing what he ain't supposed to be doing. Look at both of their faces. Caught. All right, y'all, let's get into part 1.
Hey, y'all. Well, it's story time in regards to that video I posted this morning of my husband and his mistress at the Atlanta airport. So, let me just preface this by saying, I'm a nice person. I'm a sweet person.
Okay.
I'll do anything for my family and my friends.
Got you.
And I'll help anybody out. Try to stay in my own lane. I try not to bother anyone or do any of that.
Right.
But when people play in my face and plot and plan and do foul stuff, I'm not so nice anymore.
Let them know.
And that's how most of us are. So let me start by saying on October 29th of 2022,
what happened?
My husband was scheduled to come home from a trip from Europe. He told me he had been over there working, and he worked a lot for his, his corporate job. I thought he was working anyway. Told me he had a speaking engagement in Europe. So
she said she was hoping he was working anyway. Does that mean, I would like to call him Unc, but you be around here cheating. So does that mean, dude didn't have a job? What?
I wanted to make sure that I had dinner and everything ready for him
Right.
by the time he got home. So I called the airline. So I knew the flight number.
Okay.
And I was driving, so I couldn't, type it in my computer, because usually if you just type a flight number in, it'll just pop up what time the flight's going to land. So I had to call the airline that day. And when I asked the flight attendant, or not the flight attendant, I'm sorry, but the representative, what time that flight came in, he asked for my husband's name.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, you don't need his name. I was like, just give me the flight information. If I typed it in, I just need the flight information. You don't need his name. So he was adamant about me giving the name. So I gave him the name. He comes back a few minutes later and he says, Mr. Such and Such and Miss What's Her Name landed 20 minutes ago. So I'm in shock, because I've been married 25, 26 years, and I'm thinking I'm just married to this outstanding, upstanding citizen.
And you are not in a poly relationship.
No, just his name. I don't know who that other person is, but just his name. And the guy states again, he was like, Mr. Such and Such and Miss What's Her Name just landed a few minutes ago, like 20 minutes ago. So I'm sitting in the Kroger parking lot like, what does this mean? I'm in a state of shock, actually. So my head is spinning by this time. My blood pressure's going up. And I'm like, what does this mean? So I'm like, okay. So right after that, my husband calls. And I was trying to hold it in and trying to hold what I was feeling in. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm going to wait till he gets to the house. Because he was like, I missed you. It's been a long, long week. This is the hardest money I ever earned. But I wish you could have gone with me. And I was like, okay, well, you can tell me about your trip when you get home. So, okay, stand by, y'all, for the rest.
Baby, you ain't got to tell me.
So, okay, y'all. So when he comes home, I greet him at the door. Give him a hug and a kiss.
I was like, you give him a kiss?
Trip while he's unpacking.
Okay.
And so I'm like, show me some pictures from your trip. And he was like, I didn't take any pictures. I was running around working, and we were just so busy. You ain't take not one picture? We were just, just going to and fro. So I was like, oh, okay. So when we go to have dinner, I was like, hey, I called the airlines to see what time your flight was getting in. And I said, they told me there was someone else on your itinerary. And I tell him the person's name. And he was like, who was that? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me. He was like, I don't know who that is. And he was like, He said, they must have made a mistake. So I was like, well, okay. So I went along with it, but something about it, my spirit just was not feeling right. So I was like, something about this is just not right.
Yeah.
So that night when we go to bed, he's sleeping over there, just snoring. I'm over there tossing and turning, because I was like, something about this just does not feel right. So something tells me in the morning when you get up, go check your credit card bills that are on the counter. So the credit card bills are all stacked up out on our kitchen counter, and I don't open them because I don't pay the bill. I mean, it's American Express bill each month. They be high. So I was like, I ain't got nothing on it, so no need for me to open them. But that was my account, and I
like her
20 years ago, and I just let him open it, open the bill and pay it. And there was sometimes I would open it, but most times I would just look at my portion of it and just keep it moving.
She said, I ain't got nothing on it.
I go to church, and he tells me that he had to leave because he had to catch up on work and all that kind of stuff later on in the day. So I was like, okay. So I go to church, and when I come back from church, I get ready to go to the Falcon game. But something was like, check one of those credit card bills before you go. When I open up that bill, the woman that the airline employee mentioned that was on his itinerary, her name was up and down my credit card bill. flights here, flights there, flights to Paris, Delta vacations, a country here, an island there. So I'm thinking this was in 1 month. So I'm sitting there like, what in the world? So by this time, y'all, I'm steaming and I got to go to this Falcon game with my girlfriends and try to act like I'm having a good time. But the whole time, my mind is racing. So I was like, okay, so I come home that night. I stack up all those bills. I got bills for like 8 months worth of bills. Actually, that was October. So 10 months. I pulled from December of 21 to October of 22. And when I tell you, it was very telling. This woman's name was on every one of my bills for each of those months several times. So while I thought he was out working and telling me that I couldn't travel with him because, he didn't want to get distracted.
Right.
Oh, he had a travel mate, all right. He had one. Stand by for part 3.
Baby, you ain't got to tell me.
So I go through.
And just to let y'all know, she's saying like part 3, even though you're seeing part 4 on the screen, because technically part 1 was the video that I didn't have the audio playing, and him and his mistress was sitting at the airport. So that's technically like part 1. So she's saying 3, but it's 4 on the screen because of that. All right, let's get back to it because I know y'all want to know just like me.
All these credit card bills, finds this girl's name for months on my credit card bills for the last 10 months specifically. So at that time I try to call his phone, call my husband's phone and text him. No answer, no text back. So I called his boy's house because he told me he was going to his boy's house to watch football.
Did he lie?
No answer from him. So I texted him and was like, hey, is he with you? No answer back. Then all of a sudden, here come my phone ringing. It's my husband. Like, I ran out to get something to eat. Like, what's up? And I was like, oh, you know what's up. I said, and I started repeating the girl's name. And he was like, why you keep saying that name? And I was like, I kept saying the name. So he was like, well, I don't understand why you keep calling that name. And I was like, oh, yeah. I said, your gig is up. I was like, you nasty motherfucker. I was like, your gig is up. So he was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm on my way home. I was like, bring your ass on home. I was like, come home. Because by this time, I'm furious. So I hang up the phone. I'm just like livid, y'all. I promise you. I think my blood pressure was on like 1,000 that day. So he comes in, and he come in like all Billy Bad, like, why you keep mentioning that name? And I was like, you tell me why I keep mentioning that name. So I was like, I'm going to ask you this. I said, I'm going to ask you one time. I said, no, I know the truth. I was like, was such and such on this flight with you? He was like, no, I don't know why you keep mentioning that name. I don't know who that is. I said, I'm going to ask you one more motherfucking time. And know that I know the truth. Don't lie to me. And it was like this mask fell off of him. And he sat down in his chair and he was like, yeah, she was with me. And I was like, okay. I said, so that's your girlfriend? He was like, yeah. I said, well, how long you been with her? He said a couple of years. And I was like, okay. So by this time, I can't hold it together. I mean, I think all I remember doing, I remember crying, and I had a really, really bad headache. And all he said to me was, and this was what he says was really kind of like cut me. He was like he was relieved. He was like, at least I ain't got to lie no more. I'm sorry I hurt you, but at least I don't have to lie anymore. So by this time, I'm like, say what now? So he
feeling relieved.
So I'm screaming, I'm yelling. My son's upstairs. He comes down, goes back up because I was like, everything's fine. But my head is like hurting like really, really bad, guys. So I come back to my bathroom to try to get some medicine. So I was like, let me take my blood pressure.
Please,
blood pressure
auntie.
Was like 190 over 110 or some crazy like that. So I was like, I got to get to a hospital.
You got to chill.
So stand by. It gets more interesting. Y'all, when he hit me with I don't want a divorce, but I'm going to keep seeing her because I ain't going to let nobody fuck up my money. Let me tell you something. That was definitely the wrong answer and told me everything I needed to know about him, about the marriage, and what I needed to do next. So for the next couple of days, I'm still in a state of confusion. And I remember once I found the girl's name, I went to Instagram, good old Instagram. You know, you go look there, you find anything. So I look up her name, I see her, and I'm really like feeling down. I'm like, oh my God, like she's beautiful. You know, he wants him someone younger. Like, I ain't all that. So I'm just tearing my ass up.
Don't.
You know, my girls called later that day. My best friend called that morning and was checking in on me, and I was trying to hide it from her, but I couldn't. So I'm like in a ball of tears, tell her what's happened. She's in a state of shock. And usually she always got something to say, but she was left speechless. So she calls my other girlfriend. She calls. We all in a state of shock. Everybody's tore to pieces. So that day, after, you know, I tell them what happened and everything, everybody, we just call it, we all were shocked. So the next day I go and meet with them because I see this girl on Instagram, and I'm telling them about it. So they asked me to come out to lunch, have lunch with them.
They want
girlfriends.
the scoop.
So, because they needed to tell me something. So, and I bring it up. I was like, well, I see her pictures on Instagram, and I was like, she's pretty. And they were like, girl, she ain't all that damn pretty. Like, that's filters and plastic surgery and a whole bunch of shit. Like, girl, it ain't even all that.
Your friends gonna tell you what it is.
Trying to offend you. Y'all actually kind of favor each other. Like, she may be the younger version of you. So I'm thinking, like, I don't look like her. Like, that girl's, you know, pretty. Like, I don't look like that. So in the interim, I was like, well, at least I said they don't have any pictures of themselves up on her Instagram. So my girlfriends was like, that's why we needed to meet with you. They were like,
pictures
there is
on
a picture
Facebook.
out there. So by this time, y'all, I'm devastated. So our food tries to come. We have Papa Do's. Food comes. I'm so distraught from tears and looking a hot mess. Couldn't really even eat. And we went into how bad off I was. You know you bad off when you can't do this. We needed to pray over our food. I couldn't even put my hands together to pray. I have never had that to happen. I couldn't even pray. I literally put my head down on the table while they were saying a prayer and cried. And basically they made me try to eat because I really could not eat anything. So it was just a complete mess. So when I get home, my husband, he was actually gone. I think he was gone, but, you know, he claimed he had a trip or something. And then he tells me when he did come home, like, well, I need to talk to you because I think we need a little break. So he was like, you need a break so you can think about some things. And I was like, huh? Like, I need to think about some things. He was like, yeah, you need a break so you can think about some things. Y'all, when he hit me with so yeah, to add insult to injury, he tells me he needs to go away for 3 to 6 months for me to think about some things.
3 to 6 months?
And to think some things over.
What?
And I was like, I need to think some things over. I was like, I don't need to think about anything. He was like, yeah, I need to go away so you can think about some things.
No.
So I'm like, okay. And this is the straw that broke the camel's back when he said this. And I knew that this man actually had no love for me and that he had been planning and plotting for a long time. He was like, yeah, and if you find somebody in that 3 to 6 month time frame, I'll understand. Now, who tell their spouse that? If they really love you, they don't want you all sleeping with nobody else. Not if everybody normal, ain't nobody sick or doing anything like that. So I knew then, I was like, I don't have but one other option. Divorce is the only option for me. And I tell you, I prayed about it, asked God about it. And when I tell you he was sending me signs, if you listen, he will send you signs. And he sent me sign after sign after sign, y'all. So I did. I filed for divorce, and each day I've gotten stronger. And I think my husband thought that, I don't know what he thought about me or what kind of person I was, but because he knew how I felt about infidelity. And I always used to tell him, you know, hey, if something ever happens, tell me on the front end, because I'm going to hurt one way or the other, on the front end, on the back end. Just let me know, but don't play me for no fool. So he thought he got boo-boo the fool over here. So I was like, okay. And from this girl that you saw in the video, yeah, she knew about me. He would have her at restaurants, hotels, games, had other women serving me my drinks. They'd feet under my table speaking to me. And he's sleeping with all these women. That is humiliating, y'all. So, you know what? I was like, if you give me shit to taste, I'm going to let you taste it back. So to the airport video. Yeah, I was shocked. I was dismayed because that was my first time seeing them. I knew eventually that I would see them out somewhere. It's Atlanta, and hey, it's a small town. So it's a big town, but it's a small town too. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try my best to be classy and all that kind of stuff. sometimes that just don't work. Because when you go in a gutter, when people go gutter with you, and I have to apologize to Michelle Obama, girl, when you said that, when they go low, we go high. That ain't my motto. Because when they go low, I go lower. I go gutter.
To the flow.
I'm going gutter. I'm going to swim down with the rats with your ass.
You hear me?
So I was like, okay, yeah. So she knew, and she was on Instagram sending all her little subliminal messages and all of that. Like, yeah, okay, I got you, girl. But y'all, when all this is over, I got a little story to tell about her and the rest of his story too. Our story. It's actually our story because it's my story to tell. So I'll share more with you all, but let me tell you something as a cautionary tale. If you all want to move on, just say you want to move on, y'all. Because if you fuck around, you definitely going to find out. And just like him, my husband got the 1 and the 2. Be good. Y'all hear from me later. Bye.
I like her.
Hey, y'all. After I posted that video of my
Auntie
husband
ain't
and
playing.
his mistress in the Atlanta airport, and I decided to share my story with you all, when I say that you all have shown an outpouring of love, support, kind words, prayers, just everything. And I just want to say how grateful I am, because that was very hard for me. And it's still hard for me. This is a journey that I wouldn't wish on anyone. This kind of betrayal and the lies and the deception, no one deserves that, you know. And just reading some of you all's stories, it makes me sad to know that so many people are still going through this same thing, you know. And it's not even about, you know, everybody's going through it. Black, white, you know, it has no color line, and men are going through it too with women who are doing the same thing.
Right.
But, you know, I'm hoping that this will help someone know that they can share their story and not live in shame, thinking they can't say anything and to protect the other person. Those days are gone, y'all. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and loving on me during this time. So this is a love that I didn't even know I needed, but I needed it, guys. So, and for the Ride Out crew, y'all crack me up, getting ready to get y'all Air Force Ones or y'all stomping boots. But y'all, I'm too old for that. And I'll tell y'all this, I'm just being completely transparent. When I ran up on them in the airport, I never knew what I would do if I ever saw them together. And I didn't do anything because I'm older now and I can't fight. I really cannot fight. And I didn't want her to whip my ass. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So y'all, we're not going to fight. We're going to fight with our tongues and fight with the legal system. And since I'm still going through this process, according to my, you know, trusted counsel, Rachel St. Fleur and Melanie Fenwick Thompson, I got to start thinking smarter, guys. So I couldn't, you know, go off and do that. So I want to advise you guys too. Like sometimes we have to restrain. We do have to use self-restraint, guys. So
right.
I do appreciate you all, you know. And to my super sleuth, when I tell you, y'all are better than the FBI, the CIA, Scooby-Doo, Perry Mason. Y'all are on it. But yeah, we can lean back on some of that now. You know, we'll get it handled, guys. But thank you for your support. You know, and for you all who said I stayed, I did not. I know my worth. And as soon as I got more information after I initially found out on October 29th of 2022, there was so much more that came out between that time and when I filed. But I can't share that with you all right now because it is actually, this story gets crazier and crazier. But can't share that with you all right now, but I will at some point, you know, and I just hope that it helps someone else know that you're not going crazy. You're not alone with the gaslighting and people making you feel like, you know, you are less than. You're not. So, you know, and for me, you know, for those who want to stay, you that is your prerogative. I'll support you, but I'm not one of those you, me, and she kind of girls. You know, there's not going to be no Eve and the Rough Riders on that one. No, it's either you or me. You know, I value the institution of marriage. I made a commitment to God. I made a commitment to him. And he just didn't stand up on his end. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. But I thank you all so much. And you'll be hearing from me soon. Hope y'all have a good one. Peace. Good morning, y'all. Earlier this morning, I posted a lengthy and detailed video stating that today was my 28th wedding anniversary, and I was giving some details about how I met my husband. And I told you all earlier that, you know, we're going through this process right now. I can't share too much of it, but I would share everything once we kind of get through. Okay. I feel the need to address this. I really shouldn't have to, but I want to. So I ain't nobody's victim, and I ain't having nobody's pity party. So my original post was about me seeing him and her for the first time in the airport. I admitted that I was shocked. I was. And the video was only about 7 seconds where I said, have a good flight. I think I said, hey, Harold, have a good flight. And I walked on off, right? And I turned the video off after that. And then I said something like, that's his mistress. He's my husband. I'm the wife. And I went on back to where I was sitting in the Sky Club. Didn't say anything else. So I guess she's is saying something about when we got to the gateway to get on the plane. Yeah, I said some things to him, but he's my husband, so I can say whatever I want to say to him. And it's just like kicking any trash can. You kick it, and the trash may get over on you too. So some of it, she might have caught some of the flack, but that's just par for the course when when you do this kind of stuff. And well, it wasn't too much I could do anyway because I had filed for divorce the year earlier. I filed for divorce in December of 22, so wasn't anything I really could do, guys. But other than doing what I did do, and then I kept it moving. But let me tell you something. Me and this girl are not the same person. When she met my husband, she knew he was married. She actually encouraged him to leave me. She was doing really disrespectful shit. She came to my Spelman Morehouse homecoming and sat under my tent and saw me sitting right there beside him and knew he was married. And we were all having a good time. There was no animosity that day. We were all having a good time. So as far as I'm concerned, she came around my family uninvited. Or actually, he might have invited her, but she knew what the deal was. Then she had the nerve to post that clip of Sunshine from Harlem Nights the day that I found out everything. Yeah, because I went on one of her pictures and kind of said a few things. And then she posted that video just kind of trying to taunt me. So I'm like, so you're going to taunt me and gloat after I find out that you've been with my husband. So, I'm like, So like I said, I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I'm keeping it 100. So I ain't judging him. I ain't judging her. But at the same time, she and I ain't the same. Right. And this is not about her. This is all about him and his lies, his deception and all of that. So before you all get to start want to judge me and start talking about it's karma and all that, it could be, but it is what it is. So, I got to live with it. I'm going to be accountable for 100% of all my shit. So, but I'll say before you all start throwing stones and want to judge somebody, you need to hear the whole story. So, every woman he's ever been with has been deceived and lied to. But I'll give you the story about how he and I met and what the situation was. Stand by.
All right, y'all. So that's what I seen. If you go to her TikTok page, she does have a nice bit of videos there. If y'all want to see more of Auntie, y'all let me know. I will go through the TikTok and see if I can find clumps of story times, and piece them all together. Because, some people start a story time and they have a whole bunch of stuff in between. And I don't want to take up too much time trying to go through the TikTok right now. I just wanted to get out this story time because it seemed pretty interesting to me. It looks like, so she caught him when she called and wanted to know when he was going to be landing. Then she gets the information, confronts him about it. He denies. She opens up the mail on the counter and sees that he's been paying for hotels and trips and flights and everything in between with this lady's name on it. So he finally comes clean and say, you know what, I did it. Then turns around and come back and say, you need 6 months to think. So I'm going to give you that space and I'm going to go on a trip. And that is where I start to assume that when he says he's going on a trip, she then goes on a trip. And that is when she maybe see them in the airport. That part 1 video is probably where she recorded that. I'm not sure. I got to piece it together, but what y'all think about it? I like Auntie. I like her attitude. I like everything about Auntie. Auntie was given. Okay. I want to ask y'all though, since this is a short video, we here for a good time and not a long time, what would y'all do if you were totally in the blind, right? This is a little different from her story, but I want to know what y'all would do in this situation. Totally in the blind. You had no idea that your mate was cheating on you. For all you know, y'all are awesome. Y'all are great. Y'all doing what y'all need to do in the bedroom. Your mate is still doing the things they used to do to keep smiles on your face. And they say they out of town, right? Whether that's a boys trip or a girls trip, depending on who your mate is. Whether it's a business trip, regardless of what it is, they are out of town for a couple of days. But you just so happen to bump into your mating with somebody else around town. What y'all do, man? Drop it down in the comment section. I want to know, how would you guys react? Would you make yourself known? Like, oh, I thought you were out of town. Would you snap it up, take a couple pictures, maybe a couple videos, and wait till they get home to confront them about it? Would you not say nothing and know you got your proof? It is 100% valid that they are cheating, and you go run and get your lick back on the low and stay on the low. Y'all let me know. I want to know, what would you do? But look, that's it for me today. If you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building. What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Burn it up was up.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It's your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, y'all, I got an update. So how about this? Yesterday, after I uploaded the video of Auntie, who we love oh so much over here on this channel, and I was looking for some pictures to put on the thumbnail, go to her TikTok, and why she been putting out updates on the situation. I said, look, right on time, because we all, okay, I'm over here stuttering, can't even get that shit out, I'm so excited. We all want to know what's tea, Auntie. So I also did notice that the video that I reacted to yesterday was posted in January of this year. Some of you guys were in the comment section saying you guys heard about this some years ago. Y'all heard about this last year. I don't know if it was on another platform or not, but the videos that we reacted to yesterday came out in January. So hey, it is what it is. You know, I'm glad y'all tuned in with me. Y'all still left a comment. Now, recently, like I said, she has been here giving updates on the situation. I remember her saying there was a lot of things that she couldn't talk about right then and there, and she'll let us know about them later. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you fuck with me like I fuck with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. And before we get started, I just wanted to go through a couple of these pictures and see if what I think is what I think. Let go. So going through her page, I seen these pictures. Now, these specific pictures in this TikTok was to prove a point. Apparently, someone is saying like, you know, the blonde hair or something. And she's like, I've been wearing blonde hair since 2002. Now, I don't know what these text messages about. But baby, you mean to tell me that Auntie married this right here? Auntie got in a full-blown relationship with this right here. And once he turned into this, he switched up. Once he turned into this, he decided that he wanted to cut the rug, Ain't that something? Ain't that something? He got some nerve. Let's go ahead and get into what we came here for, all right? Now, I assume that Auntie has uploaded this maybe on another platform. I'm not sure, because it is no longer in portrait mode. It is now in landscape, but I'm sure y'all don't mind. Y'all would just like to know what the update is, just like me, all right? Let's get it. Let's go.
Hey, y'all.
What's up?
It's been many moons since I have been on here. All is well as can be, and I'm grateful for that. It's been a long year, like most of you all have had a long year, but hey, life is life, and we just keep moving on with it.
Right.
So in January, I posted a video of my husband and his mistress at the Atlanta airport and shared my story about what happened before that day. I kind of went back in time from that day and started telling them my story. And let me say this first. When I decided to share my story, while walking blind and walking in the dark, I did so because I wanted to be impactful. And through my pain, hopefully I could help someone else who are in my shoes, who's about to be in my shoes, those who've been in my shoes before, where you can empathize and you understand what that feels like. And I wanted them to know that you don't have to hide or be ashamed because of someone else's actions, their selfish actions, actually. It was really the start of my healing process. Some of you may agree or disagree with how I decided that I wanted to heal. And it matters not to me, because when you have a broken heart or have been deceived and lied to and betrayed, all you want to do is fix your broken heart, and you go about it any kind of way you have to. So for me, sharing my story was therapeutic for me, but everybody does things their own way. And I shared about how, you know, basically the immediate aftermath of me finding out everything. So I kind of shared my story that way. Yeah, it's been heavy, y'all. And, there was no remorse from him. She was happy. She relishing in it. Wanted me to know, leaving stuff behind in my car, her panties, her hair, barrettes, things like that. She and her family were elated because then they could have him all to themselves, He paying her way, her mama way, her boyfriend way, her kids way, cash apping everybody, just cash apping everybody. But, he was just being an outstanding boyfriend to her. All while, I was sitting at home thinking he was being a good guy, handling everything for our family. But, such is life. We live and we learn. But he applied the pressure. And that is what he had been doing for a very long time. Calling you up, telling you a queen, sending you flowers, sending your mama flowers, an Louis Vuitton bag just out the blue, a piece of Cartier jewelry out the blue. And this is all in the beginning. This is all a part of that love bombing stuff, taking you on trips, letting your family go on trips, sending you and your girls on trips, naming perfumes after you, and,
what?
Giving you special holidays, the 12 days of Christmas, and cars for your birthdays and all of that. Like, girl, I've been through all that shit. So yeah, it's all a game, and it's the games that narcissists play, but I hope you're ready to play that way. So yeah, it's easy to fall for the trap though, y'all. It is so easy to fall into that trap. Somebody telling you you're a queen, and if no one has ever treated you that way before, it is very easy to fall into that trap. Basically writing you authentic love letters, and you thinking they're authentic anyway, but then you find out all they had done was stole some Stevie Wonder, Isley Brothers, and the
switch
OJ
the names out of
and send them off, put them off like it was their own, But I'm finding out that a lot of these men who think they got a little cash, they all think they're little puff daddies. More money, more women, and they think, and I found this out later on, that it's okay, that since you got a little cash, that's what you can do. But not so. For 27 years, y'all, I thought I had a real diamond. Not so. But he got to take his mask off for me. But trust and believe, there are many, many more masks to go. Stand by. I'm going to finish my story.
And before Auntie get into it, I just want to know, what do side women and or men think they're really going to get out of this person that is disrespecting and cheating on their mate? Do you think you're going to get a faithful person in the end? Do you think that this person is really, so miserable with that person, but won't leave them to pursue something with you and just be honest to you? You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with a person towards the end of a relationship and they we broken up, we're, getting a divorce, and I'm done with this person, and they're literally in those stages of getting that divorce, right? The divorce happens, they're a free man or woman, and they're free to do whatever they want to do, and then they pursue you. You know, that's one thing. But then you meet somebody, oh, I'm so miserable. Oh, I don't want to be with him. I don't want to be with her. All of this, right? And then they get your feelings involved. Now you like, oh, he don't want to be with her. She don't want to be with her, or however it's gonna go. Whoever you are, whoever they is, you know, that person don't want to be with they mate no more. They just in it for the kids. They just in it for the money. They don't want to file a divorce right now. Sometimes people don't even be married. Oh, he just there for the kids, but he don't want to be with her. He want to be with me. Well, why he didn't leave her, get with you, and try and co-parent with her? And if the co-parenting becomes an issue because he left her and she happens to be a bitter baby mother, then he go to the court and fight for custody, visitation, or something. He ain't got to be in that house in no relationship with no woman he don't want to be with for no kids. He just told you that because he knew you were going to buy whatever he's selling. And you're just sitting here getting your heart more and more and more involved. Wake up, Bookie. Why would you even want to be in something where a person can't even be honest? And even when they do decide to leave that person, you think they not going to treat you how they treated them? Come on, man. Be for real.
Hey, y'all.
What's up?
So I was saying that the stranger in my house wore a mask. I really don't even know what he actually looks like. All I know is how he made me feel. And especially after I found out about all of the affairs. And when I say all, you're going to find out more. But actually, when I found out about this, the first affair that I knew about with Sabrina.
Not a name.
Knows how he made me feel. And some of those emotions were like, or feelings were like, I said I felt worthless, unpretty, old, dirty, lifeless, just to name a few. And yeah. And all I can say is the week that I found out, all I could do was cry. I mean, I was weak. I was weak. And in that state of mind, y'all, all kinds of dark thoughts creep into your mind. And that's not a good feeling. I will say just some dark, creepy stuff comes upon you. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave that at that. So, but the week that I found everything out, mind you now, they had just gotten back from her birthday trip in Europe. So that next weekend, he was taking her out of town for her anniversary. It was their anniversary trip. So I'm kind of tripping because I've gone through all these emotions. I got 3,900 million emotions and they on fire all over the place at this time. So when I found out about this anniversary trip, I was sitting there thinking like, he ain't giving not one. He don't care about me and nothing else. This is all about him. So I'm like, okay. So by this time, y'all know I'm sad, I'm angry, and it was just a mess. I mean, I tell you, they ought to make Inside Out 3, where they discuss what happens and show what happens when you find out your spouse is cheating. And I love that movie, Inside Out. I think that's a great movie. But anyway, anywho, y'all, my emotions were all over the place. And oh, let me say this too. Y'all, don't cheat on a former police officer or anybody that got any kind of access to any kind of records. You know, they can find out anything. Phone numbers, addresses, all kind of connections. Don't do it, big dummies. Don't. It's not even worth it, y'all. It's just so not worth it. So, but anyway. So back to their trip. Now, mind you, now they just.
And let me add this to Auntie's statement now. If you get cheated on, don't risk your job going to go search these people's personal information, okay? Now, if a case happens to land on your desk that's involving one of these parties, and you want to take a peek to see if you interested in what's going on, by all means. But nah, for real, all seriousness, y'all, don't risk y'all job being crazy over a person that obviously did not really love or respect you.
Got back from this European trip, but they had to take their anniversary trip. So by this time, y'all, I'm heated. I'm heated, like, oh, they just gonna play in my face like that. They gonna really play in my face. So I will say I was mad. So I text the old girl, text both of them. And mind you now, a couple of days before, I posted under her pictures, because you know she posted all those lovely pictures from her European vacation. So I posted something under one of her pictures, and of course she quickly took it down. I'm like, well, why you quickly take it down? If you ain't doing nothing wrong, then you could leave your picture up. But she or leave my comment up, but she quickly took it down. So, and then had the nerve to post a video from Harlem Nights, that Sunshine clip where Richie calls and tells his son to tell the mama that she ain't never coming home. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it is funny to you. I'm like, okay, you got jokes. I like to laugh. I like to laugh. Shit, I like to laugh like anybody else. I got some jokes too. Stand by, y'all.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, y'all. So Sunshine got jokes. No remorse, but she got jokes. Now, mind you, she didn't make any vows to me. Not one. He did.
Yep.
But she got jokes. She got jokes during the most excruciating, painful time of my life, outside of my mother passing away. She got jokes. Now, I told you about their trip, and I did not put him out of our home when they went on their anniversary trip. He just didn't come back, and he claims that he didn't come back because he thought I was going to do something to him, because the last time he spoke with me in person, my eyes were half closed. I was like, yeah, right. I was like, let me tell you something. I wasn't going to jail for that, ninja. I ain't going to jail for these kids. I ain't going to jail for you. That ride or die shit, yeah. I'm a ride all day long. Dying, I ain't doing that. And that's on everything I love. And a little bit of this Prosecco that's left. That's on everything. No, I'll ride with you and I'm gonna support you. I ain't dying and not over none of this anyway. Her, him, none of them. Just not gonna do it. But I was like, okay. So during that time, y'all, this was, it was pure insanity. I know that. And I'd asked him to come to get his belongings, come get his clothes and some of the other stuff that he had left at the house, because it was driving me nuts. The smell of him, the thought of him, just the memories of the home. I mean, during that time, it was pure insanity for me. And I just couldn't think right. It was like I was walking around in circles. And I really needed him to come and get his stuff. But of course, he gonna be all manly and talk about this my house, I paid a mortgage there. And I'm like, well, that ain't fair to me. You moved her here from California to Atlanta. You paying her mortgage too. Go live where you want to be. Like, it's not fair to me. Like, this is not fair to me at all. But I was like, but okay. I was like, okay. But anyway, I need to put my police hat on and try to get them emotions under control, because the handwriting was on the wall and I knew what I was going to have to do. I know I'm not that kind of lady that was going to play that game. And like I said, he had no remorse. She had no remorse. And I was like, I got to get to hustling around here and try to, find some things out, because I trusted him with everything. Let's just say this. My investigations turned up some brutal stuff. I mean, really, really brutal. That had an emotional toll, just damaging stuff all the way around. So, I mean, think about, him professing her love to her, and she professing her love to him, and her talking about his love making and how she was craving him and she couldn't wait till the next time. Like, don't a wife want to read that kind of shit, but I had to, and I did. And it's indescribable, actually, and actually, It's humiliating. It is really humiliating because this woman knew about me. She's watching me at basketball games. She's in the same restaurants where he and I having dinner, watching us. He laughing, she laughing across the room. I can see her with her and her friends laughing across the room. Now that I think about it, I was like, wow. I had some friends that remind me of some times we were out to dinner. And they were like, she was there at the restaurant when we were all having dinner with her crew. And I'm like,
crazy.
How bold. I mean, just how bold of of him and
how
her.
Disrespectful. Bold. How disrespectful.
I didn't have a clue. But I'm like, but what's a wife to do? What you supposed to do? I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you. Hey y'all. So while I was contemplating ending my marriage, I spoke with several attorneys. I think it was maybe like 2 weeks in after I kind of found everything out. And some of the questions they asked me were pretty tough. And, I didn't know the answer to it. And I felt really, really dumb because, for 26 years, I let someone else control everything because I trusted him after all that time. So I didn't know where anything was, what we had, any of that. I only knew what he told me. So I really did have to go investigate. And there were specific things that the attorneys told me that I needed to look for to kind of prove some things if indeed I did decide to file for divorce. So as I, was going through all this, my mind is just completely, it's spinning. It was like a Cirque du Soleil show. I mean, it was flipping, spinning, twisting, twerking, you name it, my mind was doing it. So it just was not a good time emotionally for me. And anybody who's been through this will probably can attest to this, that, it's such an emotional time. You try to take the emotion out of it, but it's hard to do when it's still so fresh and so new. It's just like, this salty, it's just like this open wound that just kept getting salt and vinegar and everything else poured into it. So I had to, I had to pray to God to ask him to help me find what I needed to find out and to where to start. I didn't even know where to start. That's how confusing this whole situation was to me at that time. But when I tell you, when I asked, he answered. And when I started finding stuff out, like I said previously, it was brutal. And I had to, read and see a lot of things that I really did not need to see. I wouldn't put that on anybody. And it was to the point where, I was sharing some things with my friends and they were like, girl, stop reading. Don't look for anything else. You're finding out too much, because I was just so, it was overwhelming. It was truly overwhelming. So while I needed to find those things out, it actually broke my heart even worse. I mean, it shattered really into 1,000 pieces because, like I said, nobody wants to read about their spouse being with someone else. It's one thing to know that your spouse is cheated, but when you get to see the intimate details and the pictures and the I love yous is going back and forth during my whole marriage, because to make a long story short, this was happening the whole marriage. So while I'm thinking it was just Sabrina, after I finished doing my investigation of him and Sabrina, and I cried hard when I read that. And then the next one is like when I finished, investigating Sabrina, here come Cassandra. I'm like, well, who was Cassandra? Then the next one, it was like, well, who is Myra? Then it was the next one. It was like, well, who is Patrice? I mean, and this was just going on. Like, it was like that damn DMX song. It was like Patrice, Latrice, Cassandra, Blessed, Latoya, Valentina. That shit was absolutely nuts, y'all. I promise you. And it got to the point that
he got away with it for all those years.
Crying and I actually got scared and was like, who really is this? Like, who am I really married to? But the crazy part about all that is he was still being cocky as hell. Because I actually reached out to him and was like, this is pathetic. Like, you're pathetic. This whole thing is pathetic. He was still being real cocky. So I will tell you this before I take it in for the night. I was really upset. I had found all these women, and I remember talking to a girlfriend, and I was like, some of these women knew about me. I said, some didn't, but a lot of them did. They knew who I was, had been at events with me, had seen me, had spoken to me, had served me food, like the old girl at Stony River, Fatima, or whatever her name was. You sitting here serving me food and knowing the whole time that he financing your whole lifestyle and your everything you're doing. I'm like, that was not cool to me. So what I did, and I know this is not going to be looked upon favorably, but it is what it is. So what I did was, after I found like the first 20 women, and this is in just like a 5-year span that I'm finding all these women, and it was more than that actually, but the first 20, I actually sent them, it was crazy. I actually put them all on a group text and talked shit to him about him, and then put his picture in it too. And this is before I filed for divorce or any of that, because I was just angry. I mean, I was angry. So the crazy part was, some of them responded back. So there was some responded back like, this the wrong number? And I'm like, well, if it's the wrong number, LaToya, then block me. Then somebody else would come on talking about, oh, you losing your power. I was like, no, I'm regaining my power back. And if this not you, Monique, get off the thread, Monique. Then it was somebody else. It was crazy, So these women were responding like, I don't know who you are. Well, if you don't know who I am and you want to give me advice, if this don't concern you, just block the call. This is not your number. So that did happen. That was
so y'all drop down in the comment section what sign y'all think Auntie is, because this sound like something I would do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a Sagittarius, okay? I'm a November Sagittarius, and this sound like my type of shindig. You hear what I'm saying? Let's get it.
It was kind of crazy, and what I did, I reached out to those women, because I'm like, if you're gonna be a gangster, and like, why I got to protect y'all? Nobody was protecting me. He didn't care. They didn't care. So now all of a sudden, everybody was thinking I'm supposed to, protect their feelings and how they feel. Like, nobody was concerned about mine. You knew he had a wife. He knew he had a wife, and nobody was concerned about me. So as far as I was concerned, I was like, well, okay, well, all of y'all can get some of this. And that may not have been the best thing to do, but I did it, and it felt good in the moment. It sure did. So stand by, because this story gets crazier. Hey, y'all. So I did text message his harem of harlots. Just 20 of them, though, y'all. I didn't know that I could have done a group me and put everybody in it, because it was way, way, way more than that, more than I really ever anticipated. And this wasn't nasty, even talking about the whole marriage. This was just for the 10 years that I could go back and find what I could, Now, was my reaction to their actions with my disrespectful walk and lie of a husband mature? Absolutely not. But it was necessary for me, for him, and for them, because you just can't play with people's lives and then think that it's just going to be okay, telling lie after lie. Y'all, just tell the truth. The truth will do every time. Yeah. And there were many nights where I didn't even cry. I wept. And that's a different kind of emotion. That is very draining. It's hurtful. It's beyond hurtful. Hurtful is not even the right word. And there were nights where every day actually, it felt like I had a ton of bricks on my chest. Nobody should have to go through that. So, my purpose here is to let you all know, like, live right, do right, and I'm hoping that this, this is not fun and game for any of us. And I'm not looking back. Somebody put in the comments about somebody was looking back. Girl, I'm not looking back in my rearview mirror. I'm looking ahead. But I'm trying to give a warning to those of you all out here who are putting all your trust, all your eggs in that one basket. I'm not saying to not be submissive to your husbands or not trust your man or your female, because this goes both ways, but just be, just keep your eyes and your ears open, and I just wish I had, listened to the words of my mother years ago. She was like, always be prepared for the rainy day. And I wasn't prepared for the rainy day. So that's on me, so I can't blame all those women, because he knew he was married. Now, some of them knew he was married too. I just didn't like the disrespect, where if they knew he planned some event, why would you come to an event that my husband planned, and that I'm going to be there, and walk around the room and come smile in my face and do all that? That's sickening to me, y'all. And I can't deal with that. But, he dirty, his people dirty, and I just don't know what kind of thrill a man gets from that, from having women that he's having sex with in the same room with his wife, and just making up lie after lie, Anytime I had surgeries, it was always some kind of reason he could not be there. Or if he was there, he left the next day to go have sex with Pat in Dallas, or Monique, or whoever else, you know,
wow.
and Dania and Janice.
I didn't know it was like
Nicole,
that.
you know, the whole little mortgage little whores they had over there down in Dallas at that company, you know. So yeah, that's not cool for any of that, you know. And the other thing that really trips me out is I didn't know how gullible women were. I'm gullible, but some of these women, when I say most of them, when I say, y'all, I didn't know that people were sending naked pictures. I've seen more booby pictures, cootie pictures, just all kind of pictures from professional women. I'm like, now you should know better than this. You should know better. But, you know, I guess getting those LV bags and the designer bags and the trips and the money and the dinners and him doing whatever he was doing and y'all doing whatever you were doing to him, I guess it was worth it for you. So I guess there is a price for everything. They put a price on it. He put a price on it, but you can't put a price on someone's feelings and someone's life, you know, and you just can't play those kind of games with people. So, and that's all I'm trying to do, y'all. I'm not moving, not backpedaling. And for all you all who got some stuff to say, you can talk and say whatever you want to say. No one can judge me. There's only one person who can judge me, and he will have the final say in the end. I just want to help people as best as I can. And it's just me sharing my story. And for all of you all that are going through this, I'm just going to say, hold on, you know, just pray and you'll figure it out and you'll get your answer. And just because, you know, I decided to go one way, and if you decide to stay, go, or do whatever else, do that. But you do what's best for you and for your family. I had to do what was best for me, for my health, for my mental well-being, the whole shebang, y'all. So I just want to say thank you guys for letting me share my story. I ain't done. I'm just tired tonight. I'm going to sleep. I'm ready to go to sleep now. But there is more to this story than you can ever imagine. I'm just sharing a little bit. But when I come back, I am, and I'm going to, you know, take a little time off, but I want to tell you all about Andre. And I don't know no girls named Andre. Maybe you do.
I know Auntie ain't just dropped that on us like that and say she gonna come back in a couple of months. Hold on, she got one more video. Let me see if she...
Hey, y'all. I wanted to come on here and clear some things up.
Real quick.
First, I have the right to express myself and to tell my story.
And do?
For some reason, people are offended by my authentic account of a road I'm traveling.
Oh, no, Auntie. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing. Let them people talk, Auntie. Let them folks yap. You hear what I'm saying? According to the comments, she ain't talking about that Andre statement she made on the last part. Now, she came in January and dropped the first banger and didn't come back all the way until October. We ain't gonna hear about Andre till next summer. Auntie, look. Auntie, we need you to come. I'm gonna let you get your holidays in. You know what I'm saying? You deserve to have this little break. You need a break. You need a woosah. You need to think about it. You need to figure some things out. Go ahead, get through Thanksgiving. Go ahead, get through my birthday. That's a national holiday. If you ain't know, take off on that day if it's not already off your calendar. It is a banking holiday. My birthday, because it's my day. It's day. All right? And then go ahead, go through Christmas. Go ahead, go through New Year's. But come January 2nd at 12:05 a.m., I'm going to need you to start recording, Auntie. I need to know, did she say Andre, y'all? The man was on the DL? Ooh, wee. I'm ready to get into it. Look, y'all drop y'all comments down below. Drop them. Ooh, this got my ear ringing. Y'all, look, that's it for me today. If you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Burn it up, was up. That bitch gon' not know when it's up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.